Does your heart yearn for Medina, the city of the beloved? If it is your time to experience a spiritual journey words cannot justify, then join us at Sam Travel and Tours and book your Hajj and Umrah packages today. We offer group and tailor-made packages for all your requirements. Based on Romford Road in London, for our last 10 days Umrah package, please call us on 0208 478 8911.
Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Welcome back to Cafe Nisa once again. Today is our last show, so hopefully we'll do a good one for you. Today in the studio, I have with me three very beautiful ladies. Welcome, ladies. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves? So first of all, we've got Amina Ali.
Yes.
So Amina's a commercial model who's worked with the likes of Leomi Anderson. For those of you who don't know, Leomi Anderson is a Victoria's Secret model, right?
Yes.
What an achievement, mashallah. She's also been featured in New York Magazine, and she was the first hijabi to work for New Look, right?
Yes.
That's literally amazing. I'm like an avid New Look shopper, so
oh, okay.
yeah. She's also walked for London Fashion Week.
Yes, alhamdulillah.
That's amazing, mashallah. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here. So thank you
Did
guys.
you travel far? I know you're from Sweden, aren't you?
Well, I'm not from London, so I had to travel from Sweden. It was good. It was a long journey, but it's good.
Did you have a good journey here? You didn't get lost, did you?
No. I didn't get lost. I can read signs, so it's cool.
Amazing. Next up, we've got Anisa Khan.
Hi.
Welcome, Anisa. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So Anisa is an Instagram blogger and YouTuber, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Amazing. Are you fasting today?
Yes, I am.
How's your rosa going?
It's going well. Thank you,
Amazing. Almost at the end now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Eid
And then
next
we've sorry, keep like talking over you guys. Just that interrupt me. I'm like half asleep today. Do you know what? It's at the end, and I'm like.
We all need a caffeine rush, all of us.
We could do with a caffeine shot right now. We've also got Isa Zahur, who's also an Instagram blogger. How are you today, Isa?
I'm good, alhamdulillah.
Isakins on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
That's such a cute name.
Everyone says Ezekins, it's Ezekins.
Ezekins.
Yeah.
Well, also I got it right then.
Yeah, you did get it right.
Ezekins.
A lot of people don't, but it's okay. I don't mind either way.
Amazing. So today we're just going to be talking about what it's like to be on social media as British Muslim women, and how obviously some of our ladies here juggle their family life, because I know Isa's got a 4-month-old baby, haven't you?
Yeah.
Mashallah. How is that?
It's tough. It's quite tough, but alhamdulillah, it's a blessing.
How is it leaving her? Because
I've left her with my husband and mum, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that they're getting on okay. I've already found him twice.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Well, we'll let you call them back in the break and see how your baby
it's
is.
fine. I'm sure she's okay.
So we'll start with Amina.
Hello.
So how was it working with Leomi Anderson, actually? Because I'm intrigued to know about that.
I think that's the first. Whenever people first see my resume, that's the first thing they ask. They're like, "Oh my god, what is she like in person?" She's actually really amazing. We had like the longest conversation prior to actually shooting. So I had known her photographer, and we were in really good touch. And I remember him saying, Leomi would actually want to work with you because of your message and what you represent. So when I went into the studio, I was a bit like, okay. Like, I don't know if she was going to be there. I had no idea. I just knew that we were going to shoot her for her collection. And I went in and she was there, and she was everything I'd expect. And at one point I actually said to the photographer, I was like, can you introduce me to her, because I don't want to go up to her. And then he was like, no, she's fine. And I goes, the only reason is because I wasn't starstruck, but it was because I had an idea of how she was in my head. And if I met her and she was anything but what I had imagined, I would have been disappointed.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, maybe she should just stay in my imagination and be the amazing person you are. But I met her and she's honestly amazing. She's such a supportive person, and her brand as well. It's not so surface. It was literally So she's got a blog with her brand, and what she does is she actually lets people who have a message, who have gone through a struggle, it could be transgender, it could be homophobic, it could be just a woman who wears hijab who finds it hard, she lets them write a blog post and she posts it on her page. And it's literally just about empowering one another regardless of what skin color or race or religion you are. So it's about unity. So that's why I was so honored to have worked with her, because she's a great character.
I mean, because Victoria's Secret's quite big.
Yeah, it's massive.
I feel like even in I mean, I'm not a model, so I wouldn't know. But I feel like maybe in the model world, if you make it to Victoria's Secret, I feel like that's such a big achievement. And I wouldn't like. It's quite nice to hear that someone can be so humbling and so in touch with everybody else and everyone else's culture and personality.
Do you know what people find so weird? Is because obviously we associate Victoria's Secret with, let's be real, nudity.
Yeah.
So when we were talking about modesty, she was like, I actually understand it fully. And I wasn't surprised, because of course she's a modest, she dresses when she's in her day-to-day life. It's only when she's on the runway she's obviously wearing their clothes, but she completely understood it. And she was like, I think we need more people like that. And we had a really deep discussion about diversity, and she made a really like a comment about when people have diversity, they don't actually know what to do with it, especially in the market. So when she came along, I think she's obviously a woman who represents people of her skin tone, of her caliber. So when she speaks about these things, it does bring a lot of attention to it. So the fact that she said that was a very big step, I think. And I think the more she has her blog posts and stuff like that, and the more people speak about it, it will just make everybody aware.
Yeah,
because she's got links with the people at the top, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
So obviously you're a commercial model.
Yeah.
How do you find being a Muslim hijabi model, and maybe, I don't know if it's a struggle or if it's easy for you, but with modesty, in terms of modesty, how do you juggle the both of them?
It's hard. Like, I have to say, it's not easy, because there are a lot of people who do DM me now and they're like, oh, I just want to join the agency you're with because you can do da-da-da. But it's really hard. And I think being a woman who wears hijab, you need to work 10 times harder to prove yourself. Because what people can do and what companies could do is just get a woman who looks like me and put a hijab on her, and there you go, you've got a modest model, right?
Wow.
And the people wouldn't know that. But I think what I've had to do is I actually had to, you have to be kind of likable, and you have to have networking skills, and all of that does come to play. But how I juggle with it is I really don't. I just have to, like, in terms of, I have to put my work first. So if there is an event I have to go to, if there is a casting I have to attend, I have to drop everything and go to the casting and make that my priority. So it is really bad, because it does kind of take over my personal life and uni and all of that. So
do you ever get asked to do in terms of your work, do you ever get asked to do work where it's not as modest as you like, and how do you deal with stuff like that then?
I actually have. So about 2 years ago, I got approached by a company called Absolute. So if you know what Absolute is, it's a vodka company.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
no, I didn't know that.
Very surprising. I went to an event and I met this a guy who was amazing. He was just, having a conversation. And then a few weeks later, he dropped me a message saying they're looking for ethnic people. And the campaign was actually, it's out. The campaign is out, and the campaign is literally a person gives a vodka cup to somebody else, and then they kiss. So it's so
they wanted a hijabi.
They wanted a hijabi, and when he told me the thing, I was like, okay, first of all, let's take a back seat for a second, okay? Because you clearly don't know what being a Muslim is, but I explained it to them, and he was like, oh no, but we're just trying to be inclusive. But what I think mainstream companies don't understand is there's a difference between inclusive and actually mocking Islam. And I think if I was to be a part of that, it would have gone absolutely, it would have first of all been extremely bad for Absolute, and then it would have been bad on me, and it would have just gone downhill.
But I think it's a really good thing that you explained it to him.
They didn't actually end up having the hijabi in that one at the end because of what I had told him, but that was one. I actually was recently approached by somebody else, which I can't say, but that was a shocking collaboration as well. But again, I turned it down because it just wasn't, it would not represent me as a Muslim woman, and what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do is just be myself and let people know that you can literally be who you are. You could be this height, this weight, this skin tone, this religion, race, and still do whatever you want to do.
Do you think do you think when you get approached by people like this, it comes from a place of ignorance? And when I say ignorance, I say it very lightly. I don't mean it in a rude way. I mean it, when I say ignorance, I mean it as in a lack of knowledge.
Yes,
and
100%.
I know, so we Muslims are always, like you said before we came on, we were talking, Muslims are very like underrepresented
Yeah.
across so many platforms and in so many jobs. So I feel like a lot of other people aren't that aware of what Muslims are, what it means to be a Muslim.
Yeah. I think there is definitely a lack of understanding, so I was actually having a discussion with my manager the other day about it, and they were saying how if you want to hire somebody who does wear hijab, or you want to hire somebody who's maybe a Sikh who wears a turban, maybe you need to understand their boundaries and what they can and can't do.
Exactly.
But I do see that obviously we are in a non-Muslim country, and for these brands it's harder to understand and fathom what we do believe in, because we are so from the norm. I mean, there are a lot of Muslims in the UK, but like we are so far-fetched from the norm, and people say, even when people see hijab, even to this day and age, like it's 2018, we still get looks, you know? So for them, I think it's just harder to understand it, or maybe even learn about it. And let's be real, being a Muslim, there's a lot of opinion. So even on social media, I'm sure you're going to speak about it as well, but with like things like how to wear hijab and what's correct and what's not, and what a man can do and what a man can't do, and all of this is such a big debate that even if they was to look into it, there'll be so many different opinions, they wouldn't know which one to follow and which one's right and which one's correct. So
I feel like Muslims struggle with that themselves, first and foremost.
So having said that, like imagine how much harder it's going to be for them who they completely don't understand anything. So the first thing they hear, they're like, okay, I've heard this, but I've also heard this, which one's right and which one do I put forward, you know?
Cool, interesting. How was it walking for London Fashion Week though?
It's so weird because I'm a commercial model, but I have done runway previously. So I walked in London Modest Fashion Week. So I walked with a company called Underwrapped. Okay. So they had 5'11" models, and I was the only petite one. I was the only.
I know, I'm 5 feet tall, so I always feel self-conscious about my height.
Really? Always. I'm 5'4". So when I put heels on, I'm about 5'8", 5'9". So it depends, but it was good. I was the only petite I was the only petite model for the runway, and I closed the show, so that was an amazing opportunity. Oh, wow. And I think a few people, I think Emirates magazine or Emirates featured an article on it in Dubai, which was amazing.
Wait, so this was London Modest Fashion Week, right?
And I also worked for Shaz Fit, so she's so her runway was very much all inclusive, so it was plus size women, tall women, short women.
Oh yeah.
Everything. So
your height was spreading diversity there as well, so
yeah.
That's another thing.
No, I feel like being short comes part and parcel with being South Asian.
I think 100%. I think it's Asian girls in general, yeah, because even East Asians are quite short. I think East Asians are a little bit shorter than us, no?
Yeah,
they're like 4'11", 5 foot.
Do you think did you find it easier to work to obviously walk for London Modest Fashion Week in terms of maybe some of the other work that you do?
It was. Well, I've always wanted to walk, but I kind of looked towards...
was that the first time you...
No, I did a show before that, which was... I can't even remember, actually. It was so long ago. It's so bad. Oh, my God. I'm just going to pretend I didn't say that. But no, it wasn't my first one. But it was good, though, because everybody was... It was all in the feels. Like, everything was so professional. So... it was definitely different from what I normally do, because normally I'm in a studio and it's just shoots. So runway was definitely different. But I do look up to people like Lily Rose. So Lily Rose, she's 5'3", and she walks for like Chanel and not Chanel. Really? She walks for like she's on like Alexander Wang and things like that. So all of that is. So I do look up to her in the sense that she's short and she does runway and she's around people who are tall all the time.
That's so cool because do you know what? I never would have thought. If you're anything under 6 feet tall, you can't do modelling. Yeah,
this is the thing. She's breaking the stereotype, though.
Really? That's amazing. And do you know what? She's breaking the stereotype in terms of height. But I feel like it helps with culture and diversity, like you said as well. And it opens the doors up for not necessarily if you're 5 feet tall like me and you can be a model, you know, just empowering those short, tiny people like me. But also empowers other people. So like yourself, obviously you've been in the game for quite a while, but maybe some of the younger girls who are still thinking about it and think, oh no, when I grow up, you know, maybe this isn't for me, I can't do this, I can't take this path. So I feel like it's interesting that it maybe will empower them to feel like they can do it?
It will, but I feel like modeling's changed so much now. So when it was like back in the days and there was like Naomi Campbell and all of that, they're still amazing people, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it's changed so much because of social media.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Yeah, definitely.
with that being said, yes, there are still the girls who are 5'11" and they do runway and stuff, but then you have people who are doing runway who are a lot petite. There are people literally who do like plus size modeling and stuff like that, and I think that is allowing the future generation to actually do it. So we're basically, I think this generation especially, we're paving the way for people who want to do it, and we're making it easier for them. So the fact that, prime example, the fact that Leomi Anderson even allowed a hijabi to be on her website, if somebody from the highs looked at that and was like, okay, so if she's allowed her, why? Like, what is different about her, and what is different about her having a hijab, etc., and that could make them, you know, understand us first and foremost, but then maybe even open doors for other women who want to do what I do.
Yeah, exactly.
So inshallah.
And not only that, I feel like especially this applies to us living in Britain, because obviously you need, there's like, especially London's very diverse, and in terms of people as well, you have all shapes and sizes of people, and if you have models always you know, modeling clothes for a certain stereotypical look, what about the rest of the people? There's nothing on the market for them. So that's very interesting though. What an achievement though.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Inshallah, more to come, guys. It's the last 10 days. Make dua for me.
Definitely. You were talking about social media. Do you think social media helps especially Muslim girls, or do you think it closes doors for them? Especially because Isa and Anisa, you guys are on social media a lot. You're Instagram bloggers. You're on YouTube. Well, how do you feel about social media? Like, honest opinions. Go.
Do you want to go first?
You can go first.
I just think social media at the moment is just everything at the moment. I feel like everyone relies on social media all the time. And in a way, it's got its advantages and disadvantages, but the worst thing about it is that I think people just focus too much on it. That
it becomes very surface. It becomes very surface.
I feel like our world revolves around social media now.
Really
and
does.
I think people kind of, it's like social media is a stamp of approval.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. It's like people think, okay, if I post this selfie, if I post this picture, I'm going to have to get approval from other people, which is not a good thing. But
people don't actually talk about it enough, but that can lead to illnesses. Like, I know it's a very big thing, but you then become for starters, you're only thinking about what's on the outside, but then you're now thinking about, okay, it's not about what I look anymore, it's about how I look, and if minimum 100 people need to like this picture, or this needs to happen and this needs to happen, and it can create an obsession with appearance to the fact that you actually lose everything you believe in. Like, you believe in it, you forget morals and everything like that. So it's a very good point.
You know, social media. So social media has its advantages, but it has its disadvantages as well. Obviously, like with anything. Do you guys feel that? What do you think is bigger? Do you think it's the disadvantages that are bigger, or advantages? Like, do you think we're better living in a world with social media, or in a world where social media is so prominent, or do you think we'd be better off if social media didn't exist, or maybe wasn't as prominent?
I think it depends on everyone's perception on it, really. It depends what you use social media for to begin with.
That's true.
It depends, like, what you use your platform for. There's people who use their platform just to post personal content. There's people who actually use it to, you know, spread awareness, which is what I think it's good for. I think social media has really helped with a lot of businesses, in terms of people are marketing a lot more, and it's helping in a lot of ways if done the right way, I think. But the worst thing about it is, like what I mentioned, is some people do use it in a bad way, and it kind of is like a stamp of approval, especially for the younger generation. I think that it's kind of given this false illusion about what life is. And the main thing is that I think people only, me including myself, I think it's only a certain percentage of your life. But a lot of people think, oh, okay, this person's posted this, they're on holiday, this person's posted this. So it just depends on everyone's perception, really, how to go about it. There are advantages and disadvantages both ways. But it just depends really on each individual, I think.
Definitely.
I think me personally, I've used Instagram. I use Instagram as quite a personal thing. So I upload outfit pictures, just fashion posts, and personal pictures with my family, and I personally think that that's been quite good for me in terms of opening doors, opening opportunities for me. I want to be there to kind of inspire, especially the young generation, that it's all right to wear clothes like this, to wear your cultural clothes in a place that's not your, you know, homeland, if that makes sense. So being here in London and, you know, just wearing these kind of clothes and embracing your culture.
I've seen your page, and I think it's interesting to see. I think it helps especially the younger generation to feel more confident, like because you're Pakistani like myself, right? So wearing Asian clothes outside on the streets of London isn't such a scary and bad thing. And just like owning your culture, again, empowering the younger generation. But you're a YouTuber, right? So you do vlogging. For those of you who don't know what vlogging is, Anisa, older people don't know. So vlogging is basically a video blog of your life, right? Not scripted, just completely natural.
Real life.
But I think what people don't realize is you show a very small snippet of it, don't you? So what sort of advice might you have for the younger generation who might think like, oh, you know, for instance, you might have an event to go to and you vlog that, and then again you're going to be posting interesting stuff about your life. You're not going to be posting everyday stuff. So how would you explain that to the younger generation who might think that this is what your life is like and that's what they need to aspire to be like?
I think sometimes people forget that we're only showing literally 10 minutes of our life, especially when I'm vlogging. I'll show all the interesting parts, but then I won't show the down parts, the boring parts kind of thing. So
I think people forget that though. I think people, especially when you're like, because there are people who literally do Insta vlogs and stories, and people are literally like, this is them. They're like, this is their life every single day. Like, when does this person have time to pray and da-da-da? But like you said, they don't actually realize
they don't show those
small percentage.
It's like that one video is what, 15 seconds? 15 seconds, and then maximum, how many snaps could you even do on Instagram? It's like what, 10, and then you get bored. I do like 5 and I'm like, okay, did you not, never mind, can't bother anymore.
But I think it's important for especially young girls out there, like I said, our life revolves around social media right now, and the younger generation, I feel like, feel pressured that they need to aspire to be like this person or like that person, and I think it's important that we realize, especially, and we teach them that isn't how people's lives are like on a daily basis. There's a struggle, or if you don't see them praying, they're not. If you think about it, if you're going to pray namaz, like say you're going to go pray Maghrib namaz, now you're not going to put a camera there and like film it. That's something personal between you and your God. You're not going to film it to show everybody else. So I think it's important, if you're older, I think it's important that we teach them that, because I've got younger sisters, and I see the difference. Like, I'm sure you guys see the memes and the gifs on social media where, like, in the 90s kids were like this, playing outside, water fights and on their bikes and stuff, and nowadays you look at kids and they're just on their phones, on their laptops, and I think it's important to show them that.
I was going to say, I don't know if you've noticed as well, but this is so scary, but there's like girls on Instagram now, they're like 13 years old, but when I see them, I'm like, you're 21, you're older than me. And like, I'm being dead serious, and you guys probably see this more because you're on the YouTube, you guys do YouTubes, and there are girls who do YouTube and they're 14, and they have lashes, and I'm like, I only learned how to contour yesterday, okay? How are you doing a full beat face? Like, it's actually scary, but I think a lot of that is their role models being, I don't mean to drop names or anything, but like literally being the Kardashians and stuff like that. Not saying they're bad people, but I'm saying a lot of their look, and because they are so worldwide, people only have them to look up to. That's why when people like Halima Aden and, you know, even like yourselves blogging and wearing your cultured clothes and all of that, when people see that, they would feel like, oh, if she could do it, then I could do it, and I could be comfortable in it. So it's good to have role models and being able to like have a good person to not maybe look up to, but have a good person to just kind of see and see them being themselves and being comfortable.
Definitely. How do you girls feel about Muslim girls and the representation that we have across anything, for instance, work-wise, on social media as well?
Do you guys want to
so I was actually having this discussion with someone just a few days ago. I actually feel like for me personally, I feel like my page is more of modest clothing, but I feel like on social media there is no in between. there's not much out there for people who are in between. Like, it's either modest fashion completely, or it's just you're revealing way too much. I feel like there's not much scope for in between. It's like you don't really stand anywhere. You're not there or there. So you feel you're kind of stuck in the middle. So that's how I see it. So
That's what you said.
But I don't know. Like, what do you guys think?
I think it's getting better. I think it's 100% getting better, because we are seeing now there are a lot of these Muslim bloggers, they are actually working with mainstream now, and what that is going to do for the Muslim woman or the British woman is just make her look a little bit more normal. So the fact that if we go into a place and we're wearing the hijab or we're wearing a abaya, that okay, that's not abnormal, that's okay, because I see that on a daily, I saw that on a billboard coming to work, you know. And I think that's going to help the image. But I feel like in terms of what you said with the fact that there is no in between, I feel like a lot of that does actually come from the Muslim community, because I can't imagine a person who's a non-Muslim to come up to you and be like, oh, are you a Muslim? Because if you are, you're actually showing your ankles. Did you know that did you know that's haram?
It's just like judgment.
Do you see what I mean? But I feel like a lot of the judgment, ironically, doesn't actually come from the outside world. It comes from our own.
That's true.
And what I've noticed as well, working with modest brands and non-modest and mainstream brands, I can see the difference between how I'm viewed in both places. So even if I'm in a mainstream and I'm fully covered, or I have my ankles out, or I'm wearing false eyelashes, they don't judge that. But then when I go to a modest company and I'm doing their abaya line or whatever, I could see the difference in attitude. And I feel like that is kind of where the representation of British Muslims kind of go down, because our own community don't appreciate, or our own community don't show us support, and that's what we're lacking. Because if we showed so much support to one another,
then others would do the same.
Then everybody else would be like, actually they're supporting her, like her whole community is behind her. Why do you think Halima Aden has made it so far? Is because she does not get hate from the Muslim world, neither does she get it from the mainstream. But it's when these little people come up, or they're up and coming, or like you said, they're maybe trying to wear hijab but they've put it on for the first day and they're wearing nail varnish, immediately somebody in the comments on the YouTube videos or on the Instagram comments are going to be like, sister, you're breathing wrong, that's haram stuff, and like you can't be, oh my god,
it's like there's no right. It is true. There's basically no right.
And there's no right. And even when you try and do the right, they're going to find something else.
They'll find a flaw regardless.
So I don't know if it's with YouTube, but I've kind of given up now. So whenever people DM me or they leave comments, I delete the comment. Or if they've approached me in a nice way, I reply back, but in a nice way. But if it's negative, I'm just like, okay, you could.
For me personally, on my Instagram page and everything, I try my best to cover up. Yes, I don't wear a hijab, but I do cover up. It's not like I'm showing, a lot of flesh or anything. But I feel like because of that, you're kind of categorized in this in-between section where
same with me.
It's like, when you're trying to like work with modest companies, they look at you like, oh, but you're not wearing a hijab.
Exactly.
Or they won't feature you on their page. Small things like that, just because you're not wearing a hijab.
Ooh, I think we've got a call. Let's see who that is.
Okay.
Hello, caller. How are you today?
Hi. Good afternoon. Actually, I'm coming from Manchester for art competition. I just want to know whether there is any parking nearby.
I'm gonna hang up. They call the wrong number. Right, excuse us. I'll let the studio manager deal with that. It was pretty funny though. Yeah,
you could let him know that there's a bus stop right outside the studio.
Oh, that's sad though. He's coming all the way from Manchester. He must be lost.
Oh, I was waiting for the question.
I thought he was going to say something. I was like, oh, okay.
I was like, okay, let's getting ready to answer some questions. Right, never mind. Moving on. I was actually going to say, so how important, because for you this is a full-time job, isn't it? And for yourself, I think it's more of a job than a hobby. And Anisa, I know because you're pretty young, so you're like probably exploring.
This is more kind of part-time for me at the moment.
How important do you feel it is what you do? How important do you think it is what you do?
Or
for all of you guys. So what you do, how important do you think it is that you're on social media and that you're doing your job as a commercial model?
So with me, my social media is basically how people find me. So I don't care about the figures so much, but I care about the content that's on there.
Okay.
So I've never really cared about the number, but for me it's about making sure that all my work is out there so people can contact me. So social media is very big, but there are definitely negatives to it, obviously, because you do get that's like the perfect place for people to bash you as well. So it's easy for companies to find you, but then it's also easy for people to come in, put their 2 pence in when it's really not needed or wanted. But I feel like it's important. So what I do, especially, representing Muslim women and just representing people who are maybe not even Muslim, maybe people who are just petite, or people who are Asian and not Muslim, or people who are British, and etc. etc. I feel like that it's important because it helps the future generations find it easier to tap into if they wanted to. So say if there are people who wanted to become a model and they're petite, they hopefully I would want them to be able to say, okay, cool, Amina's done it, let's see if I could follow what she's done, and hopefully I'll be able to open doors. So that's why I think it's important to continue what I'm doing. And I
mean, because I'm not on social media or anything like that, but in my opinion, as someone who follows prominent like bloggers like yourselves or models, I feel like it's important because you're representing us, you're representing the rest of us British Muslim women in particular, because I mean we can have the men up there, but let's face it, they would not know how to represent us. And I think like people like my mum or the older generation need to be educated about this, that you guys are representing us, and we do need people like you guys up there on a platform like that. And it is a struggle, and you might not be representing the perfect Muslim girl, but it's important that you show what you're like, and maybe what your struggles are like, what what you struggle with. And this actually reminds me of something that Dina said. Dina Tokyo, who's really really big on social media.
Everyone loves Dina.
Everyone loves Dina, I know. It's because she talks about stuff like she struggles with hijab, and she came out and said that in a very confident way. When she said it, there was no hesitation in her voice, there was nothing. She came out and said it, I struggle with hijab every single day. And it just I don't know about you, but
I think it normalizes it though, because then now it's given other females the opportunity to say, actually, yes, this is compulsory in my religion, but that doesn't mean that it comes easy for me. Because there's a lot of people who struggle with salah. So like, especially if you're having a very busy day, if you're very, very productive, and you can say, actually, that's one of my faults, is I find it difficult to pray 5 times a day, especially on time and stuff like that. So when people talk about it, it opens up doors of discussion, because what that does is then if somebody is struggling, it allows people to then find the help they need. Not necessarily help like we're going through mental illnesses, but just help as in it helps you find guidance. People that are maybe in the same track as you, and it gives you like a partner who's going through the same thing, but you're going through it together. So I remember you said that you don't get posted, or some companies wouldn't post you because you wear their clothing but you don't wear hijab. I know a lot of people who have gone through that, and they've said, Amina, you could wear this and immediately you'll be posted, immediately you'll be thanked for. But when I wear it, all of a sudden I'm not a customer, all of a sudden I'm actually, no, you're not the right kind of customer. And I think that's crazy, because regardless, we're still Muslim. That doesn't, whether we wear hijab or not, that does not define what we believe in. It really doesn't, because we all just sin differently.
I think it comes back to, we make it a struggle for ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
More than outsiders, we actually create that stereotype within amongst ourselves. It's kind of like everyone's judging each other, but the main thing is everyone's a work in progress. And I think if everyone realized that and respected one another, that everyone's at their own pace, I think everything would be a lot more easier. But
yeah, that is so
everyone,
true.
instead of looking at your own flaws, it's more like everyone's like, oh, but you're doing this, you're not wearing hijab, or oh, but you're wearing makeup, oh, but you done this. So it's really strange. People will always find something. The other day I must have put up a little snap story about me trying to change my daughter's nappy, and I'm talking to her and I said, oh, but wait for daddy to come home and change your nappy. Just having a little bit of banter, just messing around. And I had a follower actually message me and saying, that's haram. Your husband shouldn't be changing your daughter. He shouldn't be looking at her in that way. And I said to her, I said, firstly, I think
that's disturbing that
she's a 4-month baby. She's his child. And I said, that's where the problem comes, because you're being judgmental. And secondly, it's your mentality. I said, our Prophet peace be upon him, he looked after his wife, you know, he helped and everything.
So
And
crazy.
I think if a husband is being a husband and if he's being a father to his child, I feel like people, instead of being grateful, it's more like a taboo thing. Oh, he's a man, he shouldn't
Yeah.
be doing this.
Mhm.
Why is he doing that? But the fact
But
that
your
she
baby's
said
only 4 months
4
old
months,
as well.
and the
Yeah.
fact that the person said, oh, he shouldn't be seeing her like that, my response to that was, so then you're saying that a mother shouldn't change her son because
Oh, yeah.
it's the exact same
Yeah,
thing.
that is.
Yeah.
That's
So
a good
then,
Oh,
point.
yeah,
who,
where do-
who,
yeah,
who
where
would
do you draw
change
the
a child's
line?
nappy? The neighbor?
Mhm.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, no,
So
but it's true
just-
because there's people out there, there's mothers who don't have, for whatever reason, they might not have a male partner to support them.
Or
so
what
maybe
if,
they
what
do
if,
with
what
their
if the
son.
mother passes away then?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Then it's
exactly.
all down to the dad.
Mhm.
That's
So
crazy.
It doesn't make
That is
sense
so
to me. I just
crazy.
feel like there's always going to be a wrong. It doesn't matter
Exactly, there's always
how
gonna be
much you
something.
try, there will be something.
Yeah.
But something like that just flew way past my head. I was
But
like,
do you
okay.
think that comes from ignorance? Because we're always talking about ignorance in terms of non-Muslims lacking knowledge about Islam and about
she was a
Muslims.
Muslim, by the way.
But I feel like
She was Muslim.
she was Muslim.
So I think it's more
that's what
cultural. I think it's
That's
more
what I mean.
cultural.
You
She's
need to do
Muslim.
for
I
Eid
assume that
is
she's Muslim because do
Buy
you
her a
think
Quran, wrap it up, and give it to her as an Eid present.
not just Quran, but like we're always talking about ignorance in terms of non-Muslims.
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone ever talks about ignorance within Muslims. Ignorance in terms of we lack a lot of knowledge about Islam.
Yeah.
Like my younger sister, she's 15 years old, and she's she's a student at Al Minhaj Institute, and she learns so much over there. And she was talking about having knowledge and also learning about having the wisdom behind the knowledge. And she's going out there and educating herself. She knows a lot more than me. I'm like almost a decade older than her. Almost. I'm not that old, but almost. And she knows a lot more than me. So I just feel like, I mean, obviously, as you get older, you're struggling with, you've got work and then you have to come home and wash the dishes for your family and stuff like that. Let's face it, we're girls, you have to do stuff like that. Even if you don't, even your brothers, like my brother comes home and he cooks food. So it's a struggle. But I feel like, do you think there is ignorance within Muslims themselves in terms of going out there and, learning about Islam more? Because if you think about it, it comes, like what you were saying before, it comes down to respect. It all comes down to respect. If we just respect each other, and I don't know if you guys have heard, but so Islam teaches us that before you say anything about, when you see your Muslim brother or sister doing something, before you say anything, before you speak, you should make 70,000 excuses or something like that for them. So I feel like if we educate ourselves in terms of that, wouldn't we be in a better place?
100%. But do you know what, with saying the fact that there's a lot of Muslims who aren't educated, that is very true, because there are also people who have just come to Islam who are still learning. There are people who were born Muslims and only now learn how to follow the deen properly. But I feel like actually a lot of it, because we do get taught, we've got the Quran in our hands, we do recite it, and we do learn hadiths and things like that, but a lot of it is actually culture.
It's culture,
Because
culture versus religion.
Yeah, because I know this happens a lot, especially in the Asian community, where this goes back to what you said. It's literally the woman has to do everything. The woman has to cook. The woman has to clean. The woman needs to do this. The woman needs to do that. But Islamically, that's not actually the way we've told. Islamically, the wife doesn't actually have to provide you with any food at all.
That's true.
If anything, the husband should do that.
I think that's where people get mixed up with religion and culture quite a lot, and I think that's what causes a problem.
But do you know what it is? I read this tweet somewhere. It was so funny. Somebody put, like a female could come in, have the longest day, like a daughter could come in, and then your parents are like, yeah, whatever, go get your food. But then say if your son's been home all day and he's upstairs playing PlayStation, he comes down and he's like, Mum, I want to eat. They're like, oh my God, son, come here, let me cook you some food and massage your feet whilst you're eating. And I see that so often. And it's because obviously, especially with personally, like my mum is born and raised back home, so when she's here, she's used to the norm of, actually culturally we don't follow that. We follow the woman does everything, the man goes out and he does the work. But because that's been such a strong thing in our culture, in our community, in our families, it's kind of stuck. And it's only now, the reason why we are getting these comments is because we are fighting that. We are actually changing that a little bit more, and because of social media, we're able to talk about it. Like right now I'm talking about it on a radio where people are going to listen in and be like, actually that's true. Like why do I do that? Why do I let my 15-year-old son go out until midnight and my daughter has to be back before 3 p.m. because it's too late at 4, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Do you
A
think
lot of it is culture.
Culture, yeah.
a culture?
But
yeah.
coming back to what you said as well about educating ourselves, we should definitely educate ourselves as Muslims, 100%. But I think the problem is that I think we often forget that there's no such thing as a perfect Muslim. And that's where I think things fail, that everyone, like I said, is working at their own pace. And if we just learn to respect one another and, you know, just understand that there's no such thing as a perfect Muslim, you know, we're all trying. The main thing is that we better ourselves than the previous day. And if we can do that, I think we'll bring a huge change,
Yeah.
a massive change. But I think everyone needs to bring the change within themselves before trying to change other people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to go on a very quick break. Please carry on listening to us. If you'd like to call in and speak to any of our guests or have any questions, our studio number is 0333 011 6786. Also, don't forget to donate for Ramadan FM 2018. If you'd like to donate using the hotline, the number is 07840 551 119. That's 07840 551 119. But if you want, you can always call in on the studio number and speak to us and donate as well. So we'll be back very shortly. Stay tuned in to Cafe Nisa, and we'll be back very shortly.
Lane, London, E7 9PA. Contact us on 07415 474 185.
Usman needs the adhesive to work. If not, his day will be a disaster. So, Usman, if you really need something to bond, grab a tube of CT1 from your local stockist. An incredibly powerful sealant and construction adhesive that's fast, flexible and strong. It can be used anywhere, even underwater. For more info, ct1limited.com, or follow us on Facebook, or ring us on 0208 555 1448.
Through Minhaj Welfare Foundation, your giving saves lives. Your support has provided more than 3 million people with access to clean and safe water, emergency relief in natural disaster and crisis-affected areas around the world, supported orphans and needy children with a better future. This year, your help can do more. Donate your zakat, sadaqah and charitable donations to any of your chosen projects. Call now on 0300 30 30 777 or visit us at minhajwelfare.org.
In an age of technological advancement, mass communication and social media, having the right website and app can be the difference that your business needs. AppSite Tech are here to take your business to the next level. No matter how simple or how sophisticated your requirements are, our technicians will work with you to create a bespoke website and app for your organisation. Call us now on 07538 8081212 or visit appsitetech.co.uk and book your free consultation now.
Amigos, the signature name when it comes to burgers and shakes. Our succulent burgers are prepared in front of you while you wait. Whether you go for the 6-ounce Mexican or the 10-ounce Texan, or you decide to go for a messy fries or buffalo wings, one thing you're guaranteed is quality. We've also got a range of desserts including our trademark shakes in all your favourite flavours. We're based at 400 Cranbrook Road in Gants Hill, so come down to dine in or order in on Uber Eats or Just Eat. Amigos, hats off to great burgers.
Through Minhaj Welfare Foundation, your giving saves lives. Your support has provided more than 3 million people with access to clean and safe water, emergency relief in natural disaster and crisis-affected areas around the world, supported orphans and needy children with a better future. This year, your help can do more. Donate your zakat, sadaqah and charitable donations to any of your chosen projects. Call now on 0300 30 30 777 or visit us at minhajwelfare.org.
Ramadan FM 2018.
The voice of British Muslims.
Hey, tenu we wari aake aita cricket na khelya kar, tu fir window punch ho rahi hai.
Don't worry, Dad. Our windows need changing anyway.
हाँ तो पैसे तू दे से ना.
Nah, don't worry, Dad. UK Windows will sort it out.
UK Window? Oh, कौन है ना?
They're the best double glazing company about. They do windows, patios, French doors, sliding doors, UPVC, aluminium, you name it, they've got it. We can go see them at 51 to 53 Upton Lane, Forest Gate, E79PA, or call them at 07984 440 093 or visit ukwindowslondon.co.uk.
वाह जी वाह, ये तो कमाल है यार. UK Windows
Zindabad!
Thinking about selling or letting your home? With Maxwell Estates, you don't need to look any further. Well established with over 15 years of experience, Maxwell Estates are specialists in residential sales and lettings. We manage over 200 properties in and around Northwest London, keeping our landlords and tenants updated with all the latest laws and legislations. Based in Edgware, our experienced specialist negotiators always ensure we maximise the full potential of your property. Call us now on 0208 952 0808 for a free no obligation quotation, or visit our website www.maxwellestates.co.uk for further information. Maxwell Estates, the name you can trust.
Through Minhaj Welfare Foundation, your giving saves lives. Your support has provided more than 3 million people with access to clean and safe water, emergency relief in natural disaster and crisis-affected areas around the world, supported orphans and needy children with a better future. This year, your help can do more. Donate your zakat, sadaqah and charitable donations to any of your chosen projects. Call now on 0300 30 30 777 or visit us at minhajwelfare.org.
With over 25 years experience in the East London area, there's no better firm to rely on than Cameron Adams Century 21 when it comes to properties. Be it lettings, property management or sales, we can assist you to ensure you get the most out of your property. Contact us on 0208 558 2000 for a free, no obligation valuation and watch us do what we do best.
Grab your taste of luxury at Pink's Boutique. Designer brands like Hugo Boss and Armani to keep your style in check. Catering for ladies, men and kids, Pink's Boutique has it all under one roof. And we offer shipping worldwide. So get the look to fit your attitude. Visit us on our website at pinksboutique.co.uk. Remember, that's pnksboutique.co.uk. Or pop into our store at 302 Brentwood Road, Romford, RM2 5TA.
Ramadan FM 2018.
The voice of British Muslims.
Through Minhaj Welfare Foundation, your giving saves lives. Your support has provided more than 3 million people with access to clean and safe water, emergency relief in natural disaster and crisis-affected areas around the world, supported orphans and needy children with a better future. This year, your help can do more. Donate your zakat, sadaqah and charitable donations to any of your chosen projects. Call now on 0300 30 30 777 or visit us at minhajwelfare.org.
Welcome back to Cafe Nisa, ladies and gentlemen. So today we've got our esteemed guest here. We've got Amina, who's a commercial model. We've got Anisa Khan, who is an Instagram blogger and a YouTuber. And do you know what? I'm so tempted to call it Isakins. So Isakins is her Instagram name, which is really cute, which is why I'm always like Isakins, but her name's Iza Zohor.
Whatever you're comfortable with.
That's actually a really nice name in general.
It means the person who gives honor and respect.
Is it an Arabic name?
It derives from the word izzat. So
yeah, do you know what? I didn't realise that.
Izza.
Oh my gosh, guys, I've got my kids' names. I'm joking. I'm joking.
So do call in and have a chat with us. Our studio number is 0333 011 6786. We're on TuneIn and Mixlr and also on YouTube Live and Facebook Live. For those of you guys who might be shy to call in, you can always leave us a comment on Facebook Live on our video and we'll hopefully reply back to you guys. So carrying on from where we left off, sorry, I just need to mention that guy who called him before.
I know, oh my goodness.
Do you know what?
I'm curious to see if he's found his space.
I know.
Can we give him a call back? We should give him a call back. Do we have his number? We should call him back.
Oh, that
so
would
you
be
called into
funny,
the
wouldn't
radio.
it? I feel kind of bad as well because he's probably come all the way from far. I mean, we live in London, so it's fine for us. But
I was still waiting for the question.
gosh.
I know, we looked at each other like, so what's the question and for who is it?
Awkward moments when Cafe Nisa, wow, that's gonna go down.
I can't find parking.
So carrying on from where we left off, we've been talking about social media and what it's like to be on social media. I'd just like to kick it off with Anissa. Do you know what? You guys are so quiet. I feel like the rose is getting to you because it's the last week, isn't it?
Lack of
We're
sleep as well.
Sleep
Tired.
deprived.
Definitely.
Yeah, I feel like I'm picking at you, like who's going to be my next victim. No, but so you're quite big on YouTube. You've got quite a big following.
Yeah.
Mashallah. How do you feel? I mean, because obviously you go on as a Muslim blogger, as a Pakistani. Oh wait, we've got a call. I'm nervous now. I hope it's not someone asking for parking.
This time they're gonna be asking for a plane ticket to Morocco or something. I'm like, girl, take me with you.
Right, let's see who that is. Hello, caller. How are you and where are you calling from today? Hello? Okie dokies. I think we had some technical issues. That's
Third time lucky, hopefully.
I know, maybe.
Yeah.
So if you call back, we'll get our studio manager to speak to you, hopefully. I apologize for that. We're having some technical issues right now. But carrying on, yeah, because obviously you don't wear a hijab, but that doesn't make you any less of a Muslim or any less of a practicing Muslim.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, let's have a look.
Fingers crossed.
Oh no, it's fine.
Has the manager answered?
Yeah, I think so.
I think I could hear him in the other room, you know. I'm just like, oh, I'm going to get the first dibs on the
I
question,
can't hear
guys.
anything through these headphones.
Yeah,
It's like
I
I
can't
literally
either.
can't even hear myself think.
So how do you feel about like how do you go like I feel like it must be a struggle. You must get people, asking questions and
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I do get judged quite a bit, especially being on YouTube as a Muslim. People think that to represent Muslims, you need to be wearing a headscarf, you need to be, completely modest. Of course, I dress modestly and stuff. And I mean, I feel like the fact that I don't wear hijab shouldn't define the type of Muslim I am, the person I am.
I can second that.
And yeah, and I mean, little do they know, like, I mean, I pray, I do my 5 times, prayer at home. I observe my fasts, I read Quran, but they obviously don't see that.
A question for Ezra.
Either.
Hello, caller. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Can you please say your name and where you're calling from?
My name's Taiba. I'm calling from Manchester.
Okay. Do you have a question for one of our guests?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Ezra.
Oh,
Okay,
thank
oh.
you. Thank you for calling in.
I've got a question. I wanted to ask her what inspired her to be a YouTuber.
So basically, it all started off with my anti-bullying campaign, and it just led from one thing to another. I just wanted to use my platform to kind of inspire people and relate with people. I know I've not been very consistent lately, but my daughter's to blame for that one.
Oh, your daughter's so cute, mashallah.
No, thank you, and thank you for calling. Honestly, like, I'm so touched that you called in. But yeah, it's just, I think you guys are my support system, and you guys inspire me to keep going on, even when things get difficult. It's the interaction that you guys give me and the love that you give me. I'm so grateful, alhamdulillah. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's nice speaking to you, Ezra.
Oh, thank you so much for calling in. I wish I could give you a big hug through the phone.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Thank you for calling in. Stay tuned in.
Oh, okay, yeah, we'll do.
Amazing. Have a great day.
Oh, she's lovely.
That was so sweet.
Oh, she was so cute.
Yeah, so finally we had one successful call for the day. For those of you guys listening in, please call us on the studio number and have a chat with us. We'd love to hear your thoughts and speak to you guys. So yeah, sorry Anissa, we interrupted you.
No, that's fine. Yeah, as I was saying, I feel like it shouldn't define the person I am, the fact that I don't wear a headscarf. Of course, like, little do they know, I pray my 5 times a day at home. I read my Quran at home. Is that another call?
Is that another call?
There's calls coming in now.
Aren't there?
Yeah.
Hello, caller.
Hello?
How are you today? Hello.
I'm good.
Good. Where are you calling from?
From Slough.
From Slough. Wow, cool.
Is that far from here?
I feel like it's far for me. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just, if it's on the tube map.
Well, it's okay. You don't need parking outside the studio, so it's fine.
Did you have a question for one of our guests, or did you want to say something?
Yeah, I have a question for Anissa.
Okay.
I can't hear through
It's for you, Anissa.
Yeah, I can't hear it through
Oh,
here.
can you not?
No. I can't hear the call signal.
Hold on. Put your finger.
Do you want to swap the
Technical difficulties.
I can hear it. Do you want to swap the
Sorry, give us just a minute. We have some technical issues. We'll just get
Okay.
we'll just get it sorted. Is that okay?
Hello?
Okay. Yeah.
So I'd just like to say, like, I'm a really big fan of Anissa.
Oh, thank you. What's your name?
And my name's Radia.
Anya. Thank you, Anya.
And how's your Ramadan going?
Alhamdulillah, it's going really well. How's yours going?
Mine's good too.
That's good. Are you enjoying listening in?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So do you have any questions?
No, I was just going to ask you how your Ramadan's going.
Oh,
that's so sweet.
I feel
How's
so
your
left
Ramadan
out, guys. I
going?
can't hear anything.
Oh no.
I'm like, yeah, I can. That's
You
so
can watch
sweet
back.
too.
How's your Ramadan going? Are you fasting today?
Yeah, I'm fasting today. Yesterday I went treats with my friends
Oh,
after
wow.
Iftar.
Oh, that's so
And
nice.
it's really
that's
fun.
nice.
Well, we're almost at the end now, so
Yeah, it's gone really
not a lot to
Yeah,
go.
it has.
How many
It's
more days
flown
left?
by.
About 4?
No,
5?
majority
It's meant to be
now.
on Thursday or Friday, I think.
Maybe, yeah.
Wow, okay.
We're on the 25th today.
Yeah.
Right, thank you for calling in,
Thank you,
Rania.
Anya.
Stay tuned in.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Oh, that was such a sweet call.
volume was down, but I put it back up.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so that's nice. It was so
Commercial
sweet.
modern IT assistant over here.
I find these girls so sweet. Like,
I know, yeah.
It's really humbling. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Okay, going back to Anissa again.
Yeah.
Third
Sorry,
time lucky.
Anita.
Yeah, that's basically what I wanted to say. You know, I feel like people shouldn't judge the way that you look, because little do they know. I mean, I may have. I'm not trying to be rude, but I may have like a higher demand than a person that it does wear, you know, hijab and dress
Yeah.
modestly. So yeah.
Yeah,
Everything shouldn't be so surface.
Yeah,
Because
exactly,
That's not
yeah.
what is. That's not what.
That's
God's gonna
not what
look at.
Islam is about. Yeah.
It comes down to jihad, doesn't it? Like everybody has their struggle, and I feel like every Muslim is striving to be better.
Yeah,
be,
of
be a
course.
better person, be a better Muslim. But we don't know what their jihad is, what they're struggling with.
Yeah, exactly.
you
Like
know?
I want to, inshallah, one day wear the hijab as well, but I'm just kind of working my way towards it, you know, step by step.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting you said that, because so for those of our listeners who don't know, my dad is the late Qari Ali Asghar Naqshbandi Sahib. So there were a Hafiz Sahib and a Qari Sahib, and they taught a lot of children. They even taught Hifz to 2 brothers, one of which was blind and the other one which was deaf. So I mean, it's difficult to learn Hifz or teach Hifz anyway. So my dad was, you know, quite educated within Islam, and he always said you should never put people down, especially he would talk about the hijab a lot.
Yeah.
He would always say, if someone's wearing hijab and they're not wearing it right, in your opinion, you should never say anything negative. You should always keep it positive.
Yeah.
Because your words today might make them take it off tomorrow.
Exactly, yeah.
And are you ready, you know, like sort of, are you ready to be sort of
Questioned
held
about
accountable for that? Like, do you really want to be that person that brings people down, or you want to help, like, you know, it's not, we should encourage each other and support each other. And it comes to speaking positively. He would always talk about behavior and character as well.
Yeah.
It comes down to behavior and character. Anissa, like, I watch you, I think you are younger than me, but the way you carry yourself, the way you hold yourself, even the way you speak, I look up to you.
Oh,
you know, I
that's
look
so
up to you for
sweet.
stuff like that. So we shouldn't, it's like what you said, it
Put others
shouldn't be
down,
surface.
yeah.
It shouldn't be surface. You can, like, don't judge a book by its cover, you
Exactly,
know?
yeah.
You might see Isa and Anissa and think, oh my God, they're such terrible
They wear
Muslims because they're not wearing
makeup,
hijab.
falsies, yeah.
Yeah, they're wearing, but we don't know, like, I mean, I struggle with waking up. Then one of my jihad is waking up in the morning for Fajr, you know?
Yeah.
The struggle.
I think that's everyone's jihad. Like,
Everybody-
I find it hard
yeah.
to get up for uni, let alone.
Yeah, exactly. Getting up in the morning and, you know, like you said, little do I know, you might be up reading tahajjud or whatever.
Yeah.
Or so we shouldn't.
It's just I just don't show it off to everyone, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Isa, how do you feel about that as well?
I think we should focus on ourselves, in bettering
ourselves.
ourselves before we actually start pointing fingers at anyone else. Like I said, everyone's working at their own pace, and I just personally feel that, you know, if we stop judging each other's and worked on ourselves to improve ourselves, like with our struggles,
everyone will be bettering themselves.
And like I said, there's no such thing as a perfect Muslim.
Exactly.
So it just comes down to, you know, people need to stop being ignorant, and people need to stop judging other people. I think sometimes when I get criticism, I never ever retaliate. You'll never see me on social media retaliate with hate. I will never swear at them, and I will never insult them, because I personally feel like in order for someone to put someone down, you have to be in a really low position yourself. And I feel like when someone does criticize me, I feel like they're in an unhappy place themselves. So the last thing you want to do is kind of put the person down, because they might actually be going through a hard time. So for me, that's how I see it. I don't want to put someone else down. I'd rather wish best for them. And I pray from the bottom of my heart that Allah gives them their share of happiness, so that they don't go putting other people down for what they have. But
that's such a good mentality.
That's just the way that I see it. So
I'll adopt that mentality. Do you know what? I have a question for you actually. How, because you're now married, and you have a 4-month-old baby, but you're still pretty young yourself. How do you juggle?
I don't feel that young.
Oh no. How do you juggle all of that? So how do you juggle obviously your family life and then with your work and social media and everything?
So the first 2 months after she was born, I literally felt like my life is over. I was like, I'm not going to be able to step out the house. I'm not going to have a life anymore.
Oh, no.
I'm not going to be able to blog ever again. But alhamdulillah, things are falling into place. I'll let you take the call.
I hate
and then I'll continue.
At least you're understanding. Hello caller, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Lovely to speak to you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Vaniza and I'm from London.
Amazing, Vaniza.
That's such a nice name.
Yeah, I know, it's such a unique name.
Thank you.
Did you have a question for one of our guests, or did you want to say something?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. So, you know, like sometimes there's a day for like people who wear a hijab. They might be going to like a wedding, and they'll be like, do you know what, today I look pretty and it's a special occasion and I don't want to wear my hijab anymore. So my question goes to Amina, like, if you did that, do you think like it will like ruin your reputation or how you portray yourself as a Muslim?
That's a very good question.
That is a very good question. I feel under pressure now.
Oh, no.
I'm not gonna. My mic's not working anymore. I'm joking. Well, every time I go to occasions, I still wear my hijab, and it's not because it's going to ruin my reputation, but actually because I can't imagine going out without my hijab on. It literally is so attached to me, and I'm so close to it. But I do feel like if I was to, yes, I would get backlash, because I get backlash for the littlest things, for just having false eyelashes on, you know. But I feel like if you are a hijabi and you do wear hijab and there is a day where you do want to take it off, always question what's the reason, because if it's something worldly, then you should ask yourself, is that bigger than God? If that makes sense. So yes, so the answer to your question is yes, I would get backlash, and I probably would not do it, but I wouldn't want to do it either way.
It's a part of your identity.
Yeah.
Now,
But that's not because
So do you wear a hijab?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, cool. So how long have you been wearing it for?
I've been wearing it since last Ramadan.
Oh, so you're a newbie. How are you finding it?
It's kind of tricky because sometimes, because I'm 15, I do get influenced by people. I get influenced by my friends, and like, you know, because they look all pretty without it, and I'm just like, oh, like I do want to wear it because it's for God, but then I'm just like, oh, I don't feel like wearing it sometimes. But if I did take it off, I'd want to put it back on again, and I don't want to be like the person who takes it off and puts it back on and takes it off.
Oh, so you don't want to be a part-time hijabi?
Yeah.
No.
No.
I was gonna say though. So you said that you're influenced by your friends quite a lot. I think that's very natural for you to feel that way, because there's people who are, you know, they're a lot older than you and they feel influenced. There's people who are adults and they feel influenced through social media. So the fact that you've chose to put it on and the fact that you still have it on is actually such an amazing thing. And inshallah, Allah makes it easy for you.
Jazakallah.
Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you for calling
Thank
in.
you.
Vanessa,
Thank
stay
you.
tuned in.
I love it.
Allah Hafiz.
Can I just add to her comment about she doesn't feel pretty?
I was going to ask you
I
that.
really
I was
wanted
gonna
to say
say,
to
I do
her,
think-
your beauty comes from within.
Yeah, of
and I
course.
think
Yeah.
that, you know, again, social media, I feel like it really has a huge impact.
I think it's interesting that she said that actually.
And whoever's listening to this right now, I just want you guys to know that all of us out here are influencers, and you know, we're doing things, but the main thing is that you guys have to feel comfortable in your own skin, and you have to feel beautiful. We all have our flaws. We were actually having a conversation earlier about, you know, our insecurities and stuff, and you know, there's not one person out there that's not got an insecurity no matter what they say.
Yeah.
But you know what, learn to embrace your flaws. I have many, but you're all beautiful.
Literally going back from what you said as well, no one ever shows them when they look the worst. Like no one literally wakes up and takes a selfie and puts it on social media, is because that's not how they want to be perceived. So
agreed.
when people are like, I don't feel pretty, no, you probably should feel pretty, because of you've got a voice, you've got something to say, you know. And I think that's bigger than anything. And like I always said, I think I've used the word surface like 500 times, but everything should not be so surface.
I feel like women, especially in particular in comparison to men, struggle with the whole surface thing.
Yeah.
Because if you look at a man, the way women get judged by our appearances is not
Men
to the
don't,
same extent as men do.
Yeah.
But do you know what? For the younger listeners out there, I feel like it's important for you to understand that there's an idea of beauty, and especially in school and when you're young, the idea of beauty is hair and stuff, and it is even in Islam. That's why we cover it up, you know,
because it's such a big
but
thing,
that doesn't but wearing hijab doesn't take away from your beauty. I think it's empowering in the first place that you guys choose to wear it when, you know, all of your friends are not, but you should let the hijab empower you as well. Do you remember, like, because I'm we have another caller. I'll carry on. Hello caller, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Where are you calling from and what's your name?
My name is Lyda and I'm calling from Manchester.
Amazing, Lyba.
Everybody's calling from Manchester.
That's
We had a
so
guy
cool.
driving in from Manchester wanting to park out. So.
Did you have a question for one of our guests today?
Yeah,
Ezra.
Oh, hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. What was your question?
You're so beautiful.
Oh, you're so beautiful as well.
That's so cute.
I literally want to come in through the mic and the phone right now and just give everyone a big hug. How are you? Are you okay?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Thank you for calling.
How do you have the confidence to, like,
How do I have the confidence?
create Instagram?
It was quite hard in the beginning. You have to just, I was just saying a little while ago, you just have to embrace everything and, you know that you are who you are. And I think you're so beautiful, Iba, for calling in and asking that question. You know, you just got to be yourself. You just got to learn to love yourself and, you know, make your own Instagram as well. And comment so I can show you some love back.
How old are you?
Oh, she's so sweet.
I'm 13.
Oh, that's so
sweet.
My heart. You're so cute.
Yeah,
Liza.
my sister was banging earlier.
Oh, did she?
Oh,
Was that your
really?
sister?
Oh.
Yeah.
Were you two fighting over the phone? Who's gonna call in
Yeah.
first? Well, I'm so glad I got to talk to both of you today. I feel like my day's complete now.
I've got another question.
Yeah, go for it. Hello?
How do you handle social media?
How do I handle social
Like,
media? With a
like,
baby?
with family?
It's hard. It's very hard. But people like you, Liba, keep me going. You give me that support and you give me that strength. So even when it's hard and I'm struggling, I think about people like you. And I'm like, no, I'm going to get up today and I'm going to post and I'm going to be consistent on social media for people like Liba.
Oh, I love you so much.
I love you too, Liba. So cute. Thank you for calling.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for calling in, Liba.
You're welcome.
Bye.
I feel like I'm tearing up right now. Like, these people are so cute.
Aw, that's so sweet.
They're like 15 and 13.
I know.
That's
It's
so
so-
cute.
they were fighting over who's going to call first.
Typical, innit? I do that with my sisters when I was younger, not now.
Oh, God. That's so cute.
Yeah, so going back to what I was saying, so I'm a 90s baby. I don't know about you guys. Are you all
I'm
90s?
a 90s baby.
91. I'm giving my age away.
I'm a 90s. So what are you?
98.
97.
No,
So
who said 98? Me. You're a baby.
Yeah, you're
oh
a
my
baby.
god.
I know,
You're a
quite young.
baby.
No, but do you
Fauna.
remember back in the day, do you remember the Spice Girl pants? So the big flary trousers.
Yeah, they're come
They're
back
coming
in.
back.
Shoes.
Yeah, all
they're
the
coming back
bootlegs,
now. But I remember when so nowadays, like rolling up your pants
Is a thing.
looks good is a thing.
That's
yeah.
funny.
I remember back in the day when that was a horrible look, and if you had that, it was known as jack-ups.
Really?
It was it was known
Wait,
as
I'm saying
disgusting.
really like I understand. What is jack-ups?
Jack-ups when your
so, like,
trousers come up.
Yeah.
Oh my
Ab-
god, I
above
feel
your
really
ankles. If you have them above your ankles, I
Yeah.
remember me and my siblings would look at me like, ew, that person has jack-ups, you know, how horrible.
A lot of teachers had them.
Yeah, teachers.
school.
Do you know what's
boys,
so crazy?
teachers.
You're bringing this up. Just recently, I brought some clothes from Champion, and I was inspired by Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's on my Instagram right now. It's like a purple outfit, and I remember when I wore that, people were like,
What's she wearing?
No. People literally were like, they start singing the song.
No way.
Yeah. So I was walking down the tube, and I was wearing my clothes, and this guy out of nowhere starts singing the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song, and I was like, no way, that's probably why I liked it so much, because I've been watching Fresh Prince from on Netflix all over again, and just
That's so
before
weird.
that, I was watching Saved by the Bell, and I wore an
Bringing back
outfit
memories.
based on Saved by the Bell, and people were like, oh, I love that, like they were mentioning it. So all of the old trends are coming back.
Yeah, they are all coming back, but it goes down to the idea of beauty. Because I remember when having flary trousers that go over your shoes was a thing, and even if they, you know, the ends of your trousers would be like, would go under your shoes, and they'd be all like messed up.
Yeah.
But then it changed, and having jack-ups was a thing.
It's crazy
And
how
having
trends
All the
change.
fashions are coming back though.
Yeah,
It's really weird.
they always do. They always repeat themselves. But it comes down to the idea of beauty. Like the idea of beauty constantly changes. And
Yeah.
if you, in your heart, see yourself as a Muslim and you want to wear hijab and you think it empowers you, then although it is hard, although it is a struggle, but I don't think that you're not beautiful, you know. The idea of
course,
beauty
yeah.
changes.
Yeah.
And I wish someone had told me that when I was like 15.
Yeah.
That the idea of beauty constantly changes.
I think that's what we need to be doing as public figures. We need
Yeah.
to be using our platforms to show people. I mean, that's what I'm constantly trying to do, to tell people that it's the heart that's beautiful.
Exactly.
And,
Yeah.
you know,
Not the
that's what
outside.
matters. It's not the outside. We
Yeah.
all, like I said, we all have our flaws. And
Yeah.
I didn't have that, like you're saying, you didn't have that. So I genuinely feel like I want to be able to give that to people, because I
Yeah.
got bullied in school for a very long time. I got bullied mentally, emotionally, and even physically
Oh, no.
by guys.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it was weird, but
horrible.
you know, I didn't really have anyone to turn to except for my family, and alhamdulillah. But I wish I had someone else there to kind of tell me that, you
To
know,
tell
it's
you all
okay
this
that
stuff,
you're
yeah.
beautiful, and don't let people get to you.
But mashallah, look at you
Yeah.
now. So like, cause I'm just thinking about my younger sister who's 15, and like, to think of her being bullied and how much it takes away your confidence.
It does. It really
But then
does.
mashallah, look at you now. You know, it's amazing. And what happens in school does, although it has a big impact on you, I think like, you know,
It shouldn't
it's
affect you
school.
afterwards,
Yeah,
isn't
it
it?
should.
Well, the
you
funny
shouldn't
thing is
let
when-
it shape who
when
you
I,
become.
when I
exactly.
started social media, the same people that used to bully me actually tried reaching out to me as soon as I got a bit of a
Yeah,
following.
that
Yeah, that's what
happens so
And I was
much.
like, wow, really? But like I said, I just forgive them. I don't want to go sleep
Yeah.
with a
Oh,
grudge
wow.
on my
It's so weird because I
shoulders.
grew up in Wiltshire, and people are like, "Where is that?" Yes, it's in the UK, guys. It's really in the UK. I live in a small town called Swindon.
Where
So
is
when
that?
I went to, I'm not gonna even get into where I'm from, guys. So it's a small town. It's past Reading. On the way there, you will
Oh,
see.
we got another call.
Oh yeah, do you want
sorry,
to
I
take it?
don't.
No,
Yeah,
no,
go
it's fine.
on.
Take it.
Oh wait, did it just? Oh, it turned off.
Okay, maybe it's the guy
Oops.
from before.
Call again.
Yeah, no, definitely call again.
I was saying, so I'm from a small town called Wiltshire. Well, Swindon in Wiltshire, and my secondary school was very much white people. It was actually a dance and performance school. So people would come in to get into the school. You have to audition.
You must have had it
So
hard.
yeah, I didn't
Oh,
audition
wait.
because I wasn't part of the arts team. But
Let's
yeah,
see.
Let's
Sorry,
see.
Amra.
That's all right.
Sort of carry on. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Hi. How are you? Hi.
You might have heard my voice again. I just wanted to ask a question on the topic you're talking about now. Yeah, it's just for Ezra, you know, and when she was saying she got bullied.
Yep.
how did you handle getting bullied? Because even I've been bullied, like, you know, in the past.
What was your name?
Taiba.
Oh, how are you? Yeah, so basically with the bullying, it was really tough in terms of I felt like I didn't have anyone to turn to.
Yeah.
But, you know, even if you just have one person there who's there for you and understands you, it makes a huge difference. There'll be times where you doubt yourself as a person. And you'll think to yourself...
Because I think, you know, like friends, they're a really big influence on like how you feel like when you're getting bullied. They don't really stand up for you.
Yeah, they don't. And I had that as well. I mean, I think my biggest problem was I never gave in to peer pressure. I've always been the type of person, I don't give in to peer pressure. I don't, for me, it's not like, oh, this person's doing this and I'm going to have to change my personality to fit in. No. Just be yourself. I know it's hard and I know like sometimes you just feel really alone, but as long as you can come back to a loving family and you have good friends around you, tell those people to come onto my page and I'll sort them out for you.
You're a really big inspiration to me as well.
Thank you so much. That means the world to me, honestly. I have to take a trip to Manchester now.
Oh yeah, you really do. You really need to meet and greet with you.
I'll come to your school and have a word with these girls. I'll tell them, you know what, you're beautiful as well. You know, just all be friends and get on.
Have a good Ramadan and Eid as well.
You too. Bye.
Okay, bye.
That's so cute.
She's so cute, I know.
I'm like so touched right now.
You've got a big fan base in Manchester. You need to go down.
I know, I didn't really realise
You
that.
need to go.
I'm quite surprised. Londoners, where you at? You're putting me to shame.
Wait, are you born and raised in London?
Yeah, born and brought up in London. I've been to Manchester once and that was just after I got married.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've never even been. But
That's
I guess I have
crazy.
to go now.
Yeah,
Take my
trip
little
is
daughter
due.
with me. Yeah, going back. Yeah, sorry.
I was just born and raised in a really predominantly white area. I mean, the area I lived in was communal, like there was quite a lot of Asians and stuff. But the school I went to was actually a performing and arts school. So people, it was like there was just rich white people flying from everywhere. You'd go in and somebody's doing like a cartwheel on the ceiling. It was like it was an entertainment based school.
Sounds like High School Musical or something.
Do you know what it is? It's actually like a BTEC version of the Brit School.
Wow.
Like, because that was the only school in the Wiltshire area that had accommodated to singers, dancers, musicians, like you name it, we had it. There was comedians there. It was all sorts. So when I went there, my group of friends, there was only 5 of us in the whole year group that were of colour.
Wow.
So I was one of them.
That must have been
and we all stuck together though. Like it was just the 5 people that were of colour. We just stuck together, and I felt like people just kind of looked at. I wouldn't say we went through racism. I mean, not racism or bullying and racism, to be honest. But we just kind of we were just kind of like
different.
A fish in a bowl.
Do you think it might have been like silent racism?
100%. 100%, because I started wearing hijab when I was about 13, 14, and when I started wearing it, people used to ask questions all the time, like, why'd you wear that, or da-da-da, and after, they kind of got over it, they kind of put you in a sector of, oh, you're the quiet one who doesn't really talk and da-da-da. But I just felt like, because I can't really talk to you because you don't understand me. It's not because I was a shy person. It was,
you just felt like an outcast.
Yeah, I just felt like, what am I going to talk to you about? Like, you need to go and I'm not going to say actually. Like, you just need to go and read a book, okay, and educate yourself.
Right now.
But yeah, so that's the kind of, going back to bullying, that's kind of what I felt. It was more like silent bullying and silent racism, but it was never out like the way you had it, I guess.
Yeah, see, for me it's the opposite, because I was obviously born and brought up in London, and London is so diverse and it's so cultural, especially the area that I live in. There's so many people from different ethnicities and backgrounds, and I've never really experienced any bullying or kind of racism or anything like that. But yeah, and I think that's what makes it even easier for me to
do you get it more on social media than you do in person?
More on social media for sure.
But I think
not in the area where I live in.
I think it teaches us a lot as well, because I remember when I was in primary school, obviously being brought up in London, it's so diverse. There was someone from, almost every culture, every country, Oh, we've got another call. Let's see who that is. Oops. I think that probably went off.
Call again.
Yeah, definitely call again.
We're having technical difficulties. Call again, guys.
But yeah, I was saying, like, there was someone from like almost every country. So because I learned that from such a young age, like from primary school, growing up, I didn't I didn't really notice the difference between others. Like, especially when you get to college, I feel like that's when you really start becoming aware of the world around you. In school, you're sheltered a lot. And when you meet people that are different to you, whether it's because of their culture or whatever, you know, they have different beliefs. When they're different, everyone was a lot more accepting because they'd been brought up that way. It was just different. It was interesting and cool. It was like a cool thing.
Saved by the bell.
Saved by the bell.
Isa. Hello, Kula. How are you? Hello.
Mic check 1 2 3. Anyone there?
Oh, I think it went off again.
Maybe it's like network difficulty or something.
Yeah, sorry,
possibly.
we're having technical issues. Please do call in again. We'd love to speak to
Because
you.
the calls are coming through. It's just maybe.
Just drops.
Yeah, it just drops.
Oh, that's sad though.
Try again anyway.
Yeah, try
trying.
again, definitely. But yeah, don't you? I mean, I don't know, Anissa, if you feel like that, but when you went to college or whatever, like if someone was different, everyone was a lot more accepting.
Yeah, of course.
And it was something cool.
Because we've
and
always been
interesting.
around that.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like if you grew up like in a predominantly white area where you didn't see, and then, you know, a girl turns up wearing a cloth on her head because that's the way they see it, it might be weird for them. It would be weird.
Yeah.
It's weird because those same, like, it's very similar to you. It's very, like, they now see me on social media and they're like, oh my God, why would you never tell us you were into this? I'm like, why would you want to know though? You were never interested in what I did before.
Not even
and all of a
social media,
sudden,
magazines.
Exactly. And no, but the thing is, actually, one girl. Do you want to take? Shall we take this? Yeah.
I'm nervous to take the calls today.
Just be like,
Let's have a look.
fingers crossed.
Hello.
Hello.
Anybody there?
Hello, caller.
I can hear like a buzz.
Casper.
It's the guy from earlier.
We're having technical difficulties.
I know. Do you want to come and fix it so we can hear them? Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. So.
Girl, you need to go to EE.
Okay, let's see. Oh, yeah, they hung up.
Maybe like network issue or something.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. We can't seem to hear you. I don't know why that is. Oh gosh.
Try someone else's phone.
Yeah.
Or a
Try
landline.
someone else's phone. Yeah.
Try landline. Try landline. Landlines are working.
Yeah. Mobiles have
Trusty
their days.
landlines.
Yeah.
I don't even have
Old
one.
school, but it does the
Very
job.
reliable.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, I've forgotten what was it. Oh,
Shall we try again? I think we should.
Cross your
Bismillah,
fingers,
bismillah.
guys. Let's see. Let's hope this works. Hello, caller. How are you?
Hi.
Hi.
Can,
Were you
can
calling
I
in
speak
before?
to?
Yeah.
Yeah, it cut out. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm very so sorry. Well, it's lovely speaking to you. Can I get your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, my name's Ambreen. I'm calling from Forest Gate.
Forest Gate. How old
Questions for Isa.
Isa.
Hello.
Hi.
What was your question?
My question is, you were talking about getting bullied. Do you think it's made you a stronger person?
Definitely.
And congratulations on your daughter.
Thank you.
And what would you do if something similar happens to her?
So
That's a
I
good
think
question,
I think
actually.
that's why I am trying really hard to spread a message and be there for everyone, because I don't want to imagine her having to go through it. I'm getting a bit teary.
Oh, that's
Do you think it's more in our community?
I think it's not just community. I mean, I think it just depends on each individual, and like.
But do you not feel that our community is more racist?
I do actually, and that's what we were discussing earlier on. That I think it just comes down to we don't accept one another, which is why we shouldn't expect outsiders to accept us, because we amongst ourselves within our community are very judgmental. And trying to put others down and everything. But yeah, if anyone ever did that to my daughter, I'd probably knock them out. But I'd always teach her to be a good person, and that don't.
Yeah,
don't
so you
judge.
probably teach her to be a stronger person.
Be a strong person, and don't ever judge someone based on their culture or their race or religion. Judge them based on whether they're a good person or a bad person.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Nice speaking
Thank
to
you
you,
for
Isa.
calling.
Have a nice day. Hafiz.
Hafiz. Okay,
that
we
got me kind of
3, yeah.
emotional.
I know.
That's
I
so
can't
cute. I was like trying not to tear up. I was like, being filmed right now.
That must be so hard because like so obviously my dad passed away and I'm the oldest of all my siblings and I've like you end up having to parent them a bit and I
You
find
get a
it
lot more
so,
responsibility, yeah.
especially my youngest brother, like I practically brought him up with my
Yeah.
mom and I find it so difficult to think of him being bullied and I can't imagine what it's like for you.
Do you know what? Because I've been through it and I know how hard it is, I wouldn't wish it on anyone. Like my daughter's obviously my daughter, but it sounds weird still saying that, but just you know, I just wouldn't wish it on anyone, not even like my worst enemy, because it was so bad. Like there was a point where I had a guy come and kick me and push me and beat me up while I was on the school premises, and there was loads of guys there just standing laughing.
Did the school do anything about it?
They suspended him for a week and that was about it.
Oh my gosh.
And my mum wanted to change my school and everything, and I turned around and said to my mum, I'm not changing school. I'm going to look them in the eye and I'm going to face them because that's how you raised me. And that's exactly what I would want my daughter Aliyah to do.
Where do you think you got that strength from? Is it like from
My
your mom
mum.
or your mom?
My mum is a very, very strong woman. She's always taught us to like just, you know, be a strong person, and she's taught me to just give without expecting back. And you know, like everyone has difficulties and everyone struggles, and somebody once gave me the advice that, you know, when you come through a hurdle in life, and this has stayed with me throughout my whole life, when Allah gives you a struggle, don't say why me, say try me.
Oh wow,
that's true.
So
That's true.
Yeah.
I just use that and I just think, you know what, I'm just gonna.
Well, I mean, you've come out brighter on the other side, so I
Yeah.
guess it's
And stronger.
worked.
Yeah.
And 100% stronger.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, so you used it as like something to make you stronger.
But not everyone does, which is why I want to kind of give that message out to all these young girls and guys that, you know, it's okay, that there's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
It's
them.
It's them, yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's amazing. I was gonna say, Anisa as well. Like, where do you? Because obviously, I feel like it takes a lot of confidence to be able to wear Asian clothes outside, and show yourself on social media like that, and show that side of it. Where do you get your strength from? Like,
I feel like because my mum, she's born it from the beginning. Obviously, she was born and brought up in Pakistan as well. She's really into like fashion and Asian clothing, so I kind of look up to her and kind of follow after her. In the beginning, it wasn't always easy. In the beginning, I would feel embarrassed to go out in clothes like this, especially in like London, and you get
amazing.
looks and stuff. But then I just need to remind myself, they're probably looking at you because they think you look good and they think you look unique and different, and not necessarily because they don't like what you're wearing. So yeah, I think that's the reason. Definitely, I think my mum I look up to a lot because she wears it too. So I've kind of got like a best friend to also wear it with.
oh, that's so sweet.
Alhamdulillah for
like,
mums.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
Alhamdulillah.
I feel like a lot of us do get our strength from our parents.
Yeah.
But I think it's nice for those who might not have that, that there are people like you guys out there.
Yeah, exactly.
To give them strength and give them guidance and advice and stuff like that. So it's really important that you carry on doing what you guys do. Because I don't know, I feel like sometimes you guys might feel like, oh, you know, maybe it's not as important as you guys think, but especially for the younger generation and girls like myself, I think it is really important that you carry on doing what you guys do.
Oh yeah.
Let's just hope
Thank
it
you.
works and we can carry on doing what we're doing.
Inshallah, yeah.
Do you know what I was going to say? Do you guys struggle with, because I struggle with this, being British and being Pakistani or even just South Asian, you don't fit in with the British people, or you don't fit in with the Pakistanis.
You're kind of in the middle, yeah.
Yeah, because if I go to Pakistan, I don't really fit in there. I'm an outsider.
Yeah, same. I feel too modern there, but then over
Exactly.
here I feel a bit.
Yeah.
Do you know what's so weird? There was a documentary that Nadia Hussain did where she went to Bangladesh and she was talking amongst the people, and obviously the language, we've obviously got a bit of a different twang to it because we learned Bengali along with English.
Yeah, I think I saw that documentary.
Yeah, did you see it? Yeah. And she said that. She actually said, I feel like when I'm here, I'm an outcast because to them I'm not Bengali. To them I'm London, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then when you're here, you're very much another race. Like you're not looked at as Bengali or British even. So it's just it's quite sad that is the case for us, because I think a lot of people that have parents that are ethnic go through that. But I feel like now slowly it's getting better because there's a lot more bloggers who are of colour and a lot more people who are actually doing things for the community. So it's not looked at as an outcast so much now.
You know how I think I've always thought of it like this, that we're too liberal for our own. but we're too conservative for others.
For others, yeah.
And I think
Everyone's
that's just how
like
it is.
that.
Like you don't fit in either way. So you're like, oops, what do I do?
But it's getting better though. I can see that it's getting better.
It is definitely getting better, and I think it's because we have more people out there representing us. And it comes down to, again, being a British Muslim woman. I think, like, you've got your culture, you've got your pressure from the cultural side of stuff, you know. Like, I feel like not everyone goes through it, but there are people out there, there are girls out there that, like you said, have to come home, have to go out to work, come home, and then come cook dinner and everything, because of the cultural side of it. And then you've got the religious aspect putting pressure, like, oh, you're not wearing hijab properly. I mean, you're trying to wear a hijab, and you've got people constantly telling you.
But there's also with that, they don't have anywhere to go and talk about it.
Exactly.
So the thing is having an issue, which is, yes, like everybody has a problem. You know, we all individually are going through something, but there's not a platform. There is actually now, recently, there is a platform that's come out now, and I'll talk about that. But people don't, and especially back in the days, especially when I was growing up, and I noticed these things, but I never questioned it. I didn't have anybody to go to, because everybody I would go to would think like them. And I was the only one in my family that would think outside, or even when I was with a group of people and they would make a racist comment or whatever, I'm like, okay, that's so racist, but like, where can I go to speak about it and not be looked at as, oh yeah, you're just using the color card right now, or you're just using the race card to your benefit, you know? And I think that's bad. But there is actually an Instagram page that, and I'm not paid to say this or anything, but there is an Instagram page for it's actually just recently come out, but it's called Sisterhood, and it's the best thing. Like, there's about 100 people on the group chat. I know it sounds like a lot, but we all talk about these issues. So everything we've spoken about today, we've had thorough conversations about it. So recently, have you heard of the guy who committed suicide in Medina? So that conversation came up in the group chat, and we had about, I think, 6 hours worth of debate as to why the video should not have been published, and why it should.
Sent it, and I didn't even press play. I couldn't.
No, but this is the thing, and it's obviously we speak about things like that, but then there's also a few sisters on the page who don't actually wear hijab, and with that, they talk about their struggles and how, when they go home and their sister's wearing a hijab but they're not, what conflicts it has, and when they go to like family gatherings, they get the snarky looks and the comments and all of that. So it all gets mentioned, and it's such a great platform to talk to people. I know you don't know them, but it's pretty cool.
No, it's nice to have someone to talk to. Yeah,
that would be so nice. I'm definitely gonna go follow them.
I think it's at sisterhood_London.
Oh wow!
Disclaimer: she's not advertising.
Disclaimer: I'm actually not. It's only because it came to mind. I was like, actually, there are places where people could go and talk about it, and it's this place. Yeah,
now that's cool.
This is the platform
out there now.
So, yeah.
Let's see. We got another call on the line, so let's see who that is. Hello, caller. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. Are you? My name is Haris Rashid, and I'm from Oldham.
Oh wow! How old are you, Haris?
12.
12. Wow! Are you fasting today?
Yeah, I've kept all of them. And
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Wow, Haris, that's really good. That's amazing. MashaAllah.
Keep it up.
Did you have a question for someone?
Yeah, I have a question for all of you.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying that how's all of your Ramadan, and are you excited for Eid?
Oh, that's such a nice question.
He wants to kickstart it. I think
yeah, Ramadan's going amazing. Alhamdulillah, it's flown by. This year's probably gone the fastest, but I'm really, really excited for Eid. Yeah.
I'm excited for Eid. I am so excited for Eid because I'm so away from family all the time. So the fact that I'm going to go home and spend it with my family, because I live in London for work and uni and stuff, but I do go back home for occasions. So I'm so excited, Harris. You should come in, join me and my family for Eid.
Yeah,
I'm
and
excited
one
too.
more
What are you
thing
doing?
to say.
What are you doing for Eid?
I don't know. I might just go to my cousin's house and meet them all.
And eat lots of yummy food?
I think he's got another question.
Yeah, and I got something to say. My big sister watches Ezra.
Oh. What's your sister's name?
She's called Aisha.
Oh, give Aisha my love.
Alright.
Oh, thank you for calling. You're so sweet.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Have a good day.
That's so cute. She got a type your brother to come. That's so cute.
Oh my god.
Aisha, if you're listening, big hugs to you and big kisses. Mwah.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, sorry. You were talking about Sisterhood London, right?
Yeah, so Sisterhood London is basically just a platform. Go follow it. They do events and stuff. And I think, this is going to get a bit deep, but the first event they had, there was a lot of Muslim sisters who attended, and they actually discussed sexual harassment.
Wow.
And so they spoke about that, and some of the sisters actually came out and said, look, some incidents had happened with me in a personal basis, and I couldn't really speak about it because I can't go to a sheikh and say, look, this has happened and I don't know what to do, because she would go back to her family would disown her. She'd go to the sheikh, what's he gonna say? So it was a very emotional, I wasn't there for it, but everybody was talking about it on the group chat, and they spoke about that. They also spoke about, mental health and illnesses, and suicide came up, and how
that's cool.
So it's a very, and there's like younger people as well in there that discuss their struggles. So there's some people who go to school and people who actually go through problems and things like that. So it's a very, very diverse thing.
Yeah,
and
it's so important to have people to talk to about your struggles and stuff, because sometimes you just feel so alone and closed up, like you've got no one. So it's really important to have people like that to discuss your struggles.
Wait, so it's at Sisterhood London on Instagram, right?
Let
Do
me
you talk through
find it.
DMs?
So we actually got a WhatsApp chat, and we've got events that come about all the time.
Oh, okay.
So that is okay.
Are you getting people commenting?
What are people commenting? Yeah, so it's Sisterhood _LDN, and
Oh,
guys,
LDN. Okay.
yeah.
I might save that.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically it's an amazing place to go and just
I think women empowerment is so important.
Yeah,
It makes
but
a huge
everything is done
difference.
anonymously. So if even there, like, people don't, like, whatever stays in the room stays in the room. Whatever stays in the group chat stays in the group chat.
Yeah.
Even if you guys DM the pages and want them to discuss something, they will actually do that for you.
Yeah,
So it's
really
pretty
good.
cool. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. We're gonna go on another very quick break. But please stay tuned in. For those of you guys who don't know, our studio number is 0333 011 6786. That's 0333 011 6786. Please don't forget to donate for Ramadan FM. We're going to be going live on FM after Ramadan, hopefully, and providing a platform to other, not just British Muslims, but other people out there as well. It's also a learning and experience opportunity for our younger generation out there who might like to go into journalism and stuff, because you know that thing where, like, you go for a job and you're like, you're like 20 years old and they want 40 years of experience or something like that.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, and also like talking about underrepresented Muslims, especially in the media and stuff like that. It provides an opportunity for our younger generation to have experience, so they can go out into that. But stay tuned in. We'll be right back. Allah Hafiz.
Valuation, and watch us do what we do best.
Grab your taste of luxury at Pink's Boutique. Designer brands like Hugo Boss and Armani to keep your style in check. Catering for ladies, men and kids, Pink's Boutique has it all under one roof. And we offer shipping worldwide. So get the look to fit your attitude. Visit us on our website at pinksboutique.co.uk. Remember, that's pnksboutique.co.uk. Or pop into our store at 302 Brentwood Road, Romford, RM2 5TA.
Ramadan FM 2018.
The voice of British Muslims.
Through Minhaj Welfare Foundation, your giving saves lives. Your support has provided more than 3 million people with access to clean and safe water, emergency relief in natural disaster and crisis-affected areas around the world, supported orphans and needy children with a better future. This year, your help can do more. Donate your zakat, sadaqah and charitable donations to any of your chosen projects.
Call now on 0300 30 30 777 or visit us at minhajwelfare.org.
European University of Business now offering BA Business Management, MBA with specialisation. Our courses are regulated by UK Quality Assurance Agency and taught in a highly professional environment. Special offer for Ramadan FM 2018 listeners only. Please call on 0203 288 3143. Email info@universityofbusiness.eu.
Solicitors in. You can expect a variety of services from us, ranging from family law, immigration, human rights, money claims, personal injury, and many more. We are committed to providing you with the best legal advice suited to your individual circumstances. Drop us a call on 0203 500 8000. Our office is located at 62 Barking Road, East Ham, E6 3BP.
Through Minhaj Welfare Foundation, your giving saves lives. Your support has provided more than 3 million people with access to clean and safe water, emergency relief in natural disaster and crisis-affected areas around the world, supported orphans and needy children with a better future. This year, your help can do more. Donate your zakat, sadaqah and charitable donations to any of your chosen projects. Call now on 0300 30 30 777 or visit us at minhajwelfare.org.
Why spend summer in your room when you can fly off to your dream destination with facilities like car hire and hotel bookings? Well, Flight Masters have got you covered. We offer holiday packages, city breaks and flights at the most reasonable prices with the best provision of services. So why delay? Call us today on 0203 598 9938 or visit our website at www.flightmasters.com.
Through Minhaj Welfare Foundation, your giving saves lives. Your support has provided more than 3 million people with access to clean and safe water, emergency relief in natural disaster and crisis-affected areas around the world, supported orphans and needy children with a better future. This year, your help can do more. Donate your zakat, sadaqah and charitable donations to any of your chosen projects. Call now on 0300 30 30 777 or visit us at minhajwelfare.org.
Do you dream of traveling to those blessed lands where the beloved of Allah was born? Does your heart yearn for Medina, the city of the beloved? If it is your time to experience a spiritual journey words cannot justify, then join us at Sam Travel and Tours and book your Hajj and Umrah packages today. We offer group and tailor-made packages for all your requirements. Based on Rumford Road in London, for our last 10 days Umrah package, please call us on 0208 478 8911.
Ramadan FM 2018.
The voice of British Muslims.
MR Accountants provide a full range of accountancy and taxation services, including annual and management accounts, self-assessment, tax returns, VAT, bookkeeping and payroll services to all different types of businesses. With our in-house chartered accountants, you can be guaranteed to save money. Contact us now on 0203 432 9138.
Through Minhaj Welfare Foundation, your giving saves lives. Your support has provided more than 3 million people with access to clean and safe water, emergency relief in natural disaster and crisis-affected areas around the world, supported orphans and needy children with a better future. This year, your help can do more. Donate your zakat, sadaqah and charitable donations to any of your chosen projects. Call now on 0300 30 30 777 or visit us at minhajwelfare.org.
कितनी बार कहा है कि घर को साफ रखा करो, मैं तो थक गई हूँ सफाई कर करके।
उफ, ये कॉकरोच, चूहे, कीड़े मकोड़े घर में घुस आए हैं। कहाँ जाऊँ, किसको बुलाऊं?
माँ, बहन, बीवी और बच्चे, किसी को भी इंसेक्ट्स नहीं लगते हैं ये अच्छे। So don't worry, I'll call City Pest Control. Deal with cockroaches, mice, rats, bed bugs, fleas, flies, all types of insects and rodents. 0203 633 0080 or 0770 279 8808. www.cpestc.com. City Pest Control, large enough to cope, small enough to care. All our technicians are British Pest Control Association qualified and we are regulated by the Royal Society of Public Health.
Through Minhaj Welfare Foundation, your giving saves lives. Your support has provided more than 3 million people with access to clean and safe water, emergency relief in natural disaster and crisis-affected areas around the world, supported orphans and needy children with a better future. This year, your help can do more. Donate your zakat, sadaqah and charitable donations to any of your chosen projects. Call now on 0300 30 30 777 or visit us at minhajwelfare.org.
This Ramadan,
Hello and assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Cafe Nisa on Ramadan FM 2018. I'm currently here with my lovely, beautiful ladies. We've got Amna Ali, who, for those of you guys who aren't aware, Amna Ali. We've got Anisa Khan, and we've got Izakins.
She loves saying Izakins. Izakins is fine too, don't worry.
We've got a call straight away.
Okay.
Let's see who that is. Hello, caller. How are you?
Hello. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Harun and I'm calling from Manchester.
Oh, wow, that's far away, Harun.
How is all of your fast and what do you have planned for Eid?
Fast is going okay.
Yeah, fasting is going okay. I think I felt it on the first day, and after that, I kind of got used to it.
It's gone quite quick.
It's gone very, very quick.
Very quick, yeah.
And Eid, I'm just going to be chilling with family. Just same old.
I'm looking forward to having yummy food. What are you having?
Same.
You're going to have nice yummy food?
Yeah.
Have you got your clothes sorted out?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to look nice and handsome.
Yeah. And my sister's a big fan of you lot.
Oh, that's so sweet. Give your sister our love.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take care.
Is it
Okay,
anything
bye.
Okay, bye, Harun.
Bye.
I thought it was the same person as before at
Oh,
first.
no, I don't feel like that.
That's
It's still
fun.
so cute though. He wants to speak to you guys. I feel like, you know, when young kids call in, they get the confidence and they're like, yeah, I want to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back to Cafe Nisa. I've got my guests here who are very prominent ladies on social media. We've been discussing what it's like juggling social media with family life and being a British Muslim woman. I wanted to go on to talk about how you juggle how you juggle your Islamic life with being on social media and being influencers on social media.
For me, I think I always would put Islam first. So for me, it's like my 5 prayers are the most important thing for me, and then I'd put social media after that. I feel like social media doesn't require all of your time. So yeah, I would basically put Islam first and then social media second.
So first and foremost, you're like a Muslim, and that's your life, your lifestyle,
and then after that, I'm
and social media just
yeah.
What about you guys? Especially Amna, because you're a commercial model. That's
Yeah, I actually get this question quite often. So people always say like, how do you feel like why do you think you could be a person to represent Muslim women?
Because modeling isn't because Islam is associated with modesty, isn't it?
Yeah,
and modeling isn't.
It's not seen as the norm.
It's not seen as the norm. So my answer to that would be yes, I'm not a perfect Muslim, and that's like for everyone. Nobody is perfect, right? So for me, when I'm representing myself, I'm trying to just be the best version of myself, because ultimately there's not like people who wear hijab. They're very much similar. Like we all wear hijab, we all wear modest clothing and da. So when I'm up and working with all these companies, I'm just being myself, and I'm trying to represent as best as I can what people that are like me do, you know? So when people see that, or when bigger companies or people who are non-Muslim see that, they could see that and be like, oh, actually she's just like us, there's not much difference. So why are we so put off by the fact that she wears the hijab? Why are we so put off by the fact that she chooses to cover? Because essentially it makes no difference to our personality. So when they're like, oh, why do you think you could represent? The reason I feel like I could represent is because I'm putting forward something that I feel like I'm actually not doing wrong. So yes I'm covered, and yes I do have my flaws, but ultimately I'm not going out there and showing, you know, me drinking or smoking and da. So I feel like in terms of that, I'm very much neutral, and I think people can find something that they relate to.
Yeah.
So it's like I was saying with Lily Rose. So she's a runway model and she's representing something, and I look up to her in a way, and she's not even a Muslim, you know, but I admire something she does. Same way I would want somebody who maybe isn't a Muslim, but maybe sees the way I dress or the way I talk and feel inspired by that.
Amazing.
So yeah, that's how I look at it.
I think we've got another call. Let's see what it is. Hello, caller. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Marina. I'm calling from London.
Marina. How old are you, Marina?
I'm 18.
18, mashallah. Did you have a question for one of our guests, or did you want to say something?
Yes, I have a question for Anisa. I just wanted to say that I love watching her YouTube. I just wanted to ask,
thank you.
How does she get the courage to wear cultural clothing outside? I mean, I know especially in this day and age you get judged quite a lot.
Yeah.
So especially wearing Pakistani clothing, you look very different.
Yeah.
As I said before, I think it really depends on the area that you live in and the way you're brought up, because the area that I live in, it's quite normal to wear clothes like this. If anything, I get judged more on social media than I do in reality. So for me, if anything, to be honest, even then I don't, because I have more of a Pakistani following anyway, so most people look for this kind of thing, if that makes sense. I would more so get judged wearing Western clothes. I remember putting up a picture not long ago of me in Western clothes, and someone messaged me saying, you know, you're a Pakistani, you should be wearing Pakistani clothes. But obviously, I mean, I'm British too, you know, I've got to juggle both. I can't just be wearing this every single day. But no, honestly, I don't really get judged that much. But when I do, I just need to remember that, you know, be yourself and wear what you feel comfortable in, no matter what that may be. And just don't think about what others say.
Yeah, can I just say all three of you girls look so beautiful. I'm watching you guys on live.
Oh, thank
so
you.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
Thank you for your question.
And yeah, thank you so much. Bye.
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 Wow, that was an interesting question actually for an 18-year-old. I forget how intelligent they can be though. Like they come up with questions.
I really liked her accent. I don't think it's much different from anybody else, but she spoke quite eloquently.
I know.
Eloquently. Is that the right word?
So going back to that, how do you guys juggle your Islamic life with being social media influencer? Obviously you've talked about what it's like being a model, but from what you said, I feel like, so again, like Anisa, you're first and foremost
a Muslim. So like I've said, I've turned jobs down before, and regardless, like you'll be very, very surprised. Like I can probably tell you guys privately, but people have actually approached me who are very big names, and they've wanted me in like music videos and stuff like that, and they're willing to pay quite a bit. But just because I know the nature of the scene that I would be in, I would turn it down. And I'm just like, Allah's, this is just a test. Like I tweeted about it actually a few weeks ago about how the job came about. And when I felt like I was like, oh my God, I really want to take it because it could be good for me, etc., etc. But then I just chose to not risk it, because if I was on set and now I'm here, they've paid me all this money and I'm just like, I can't do this. What am I going to do then, you know? Yeah. So I just turned it down, and I'm like, Allah knows best. I'm sure this is just a test, and I'm going to get something better from him. So 100%, I always put my Islamic side forward. But when it comes to dressing, I do try my best. Of course, I wear the hijab and stuff, but I feel like slowly I'll be getting better at that, inshallah.
No one's perfect,
What about you?
Religion always comes first. I mean, I always think that our faith is something very personal. I don't feel like it should be thrown on anyone,
100%.
or forced on anyone. Like I said, everyone's at their own level. But yes, I feel like you shouldn't be posting so much about your religion, but you should have a balance. So it's not like, as long as you're not doing it to show people, I think it's okay. Like for me, I know that most of my followers, I have quite a lot of Muslim followers. So for that reason, I do try to post a little bit here and there, so that they do know, not to give them, you know, a validation that I'm praying or that I'm reading Quran, but a reminder to them that, you know, you should be proud of it.
Yeah.
I mean, because my following is very diverse. You know, sometimes people are like, oh, if you post content like that, don't you think you're just making your audience just based on Muslims, or do you think you're not doing this? And I'm just like, no, but that's who I am. I feel like my social media should be about who I am as well, which is why I am trying to kind of, in any way which possible, inspire the young generation, and tell them that, you should be doing this, not to show anyone, but, you know, you should be praying and And to be honest, like recently I put up a little picture of my daughter on a prayer mat, and
I saw that.
It got more engagement than pictures of me. So I was like, okay, so, you know, people do appreciate it, and it is, you know, it's a good message. So
how important do you feel it is that you show, because obviously, because like being influencers, you say that putting obviously your Islamic life and the practicing side of it on social media, you don't want to be throwing it in people's faces, but then do you feel pressure not to put it up for that reason, because I mean, on the one side, you don't want to be throwing it in people's faces, but then on the other side, you want to set a good example because you are role models. The younger generation do see you as role models. So do you sometimes feel like there is the pressure out there?
I mean, there's always going to be a pressure, I think, despite anything that you do. But the main thing is, as long as you're not like 5 times a day pulling out your phone and you're like, oh, okay, namaz time, snap. Oh, okay, yeah, Quran time, snap. As long as you're not doing it like that and you're not doing it for approval or to show anyone, I think as British Muslim bloggers, influencers, you know, it's also our responsibility in a way to kind of remind people that we also are doing it. And you should be doing it too. You shouldn't be ashamed. It is who we are.
But also not to put people down because they're not doing it. Yeah.
So like when I put up the picture of my daughter, I captioned it in such a way. My daughter's at an age now. She's 4 months. She's copying everything that I do. Yeah. Even if I cough, she tries coughing. So when I'm praying namaz in Ramadan, I put her next to me and put her on a prayer mat, and she loves it. She's having tummy time on the prayer mat, and she's trying to like move forward. And you know, I just thought it was a really nice moment, so I captured it, and I just wanted to tell people that if you want your kids to learn, teach them from a young age, because we're in a generation where kids see us with our mobile phones and they're like, oh, I want that. So with her, I'm more like holding books or praying in front of her. So I'm trying to kind of show her that this is the stuff you want to be doing. Phones away. I don't even let her look at her phone.
That's really good.
I'm trying to get her into that. No phones.
But because I feel like you guys all say that you put Islam first and foremost. How do you get the strength to do that? I mean, let's face it, it's hard to be on social media in the first place without putting your beliefs on. It could be any belief. It doesn't have to be religious beliefs. It takes a lot of strength to put your beliefs and show your followers out there what your beliefs are. How do you guys? How do you get the strength to do that? Like, where does it come from? Like, where does it come from?
I think you just need to know why you're on social media. For me personally, I do it because I enjoy it, and because I love interacting with everyone. But at the same time, I don't. For me, it's not about how many followers I'm gonna get. It's not like, oh, if I post this content, people might not follow me, they might not engage. It is who I am, and that's what I try to do. I try to keep it very personal.
See, I actually do I actually avoid posting anything God or prayer related, and it's not because I actually really love what you're doing with your daughter, and I think that's amazing. But the reason why I don't is because of the following that I have. Is very much a business account. So for me, that's where I get scouted. For me, that's how people find me. That's where, and I'm not saying that because obviously my thing is when I wear the hijab, you immediately know that I'm a Muslim. Because I wear a abaya and I post about that. So it's very evident I am. So for me, I don't feel like I need to post when I'm praying. I don't need to post, oh, I'm reading Quran today. I just do that all in my private time. And I remember actually having a conversation with my family, and they said, if you're doing something and you're taking a picture of it, you need to ask yourself, like, this is just me individually, because I know your message is very different because you're trying to prove to people how to raise your child, and that's a very different scenario. But I've noticed a lot of girls, especially during this month, they decide to post everything from praying and doing this and doing that. Like, I would maybe here and there post a picture of mosque and with a few girls that I'm going to mosque with, but I would never physically post a prayer mat and post me on it and stuff like that, because I just feel like, why am I doing that? For
that's
what
reason?
reason?
I meant, like every 5 times, like snap.
I don't agree with that, because I think you're then, because now it's starting to, I would then start questioning, why? Who am I praying for? Am I praying for me? Am I praying for you?
Or am I praying for approval?
Or am I praying for approval? Because that is when you then kind of lose Islam, and you're starting to do it for the community, in which it doesn't really matter for God. God doesn't need you to pray for him, because ultimately prayer is for us. It's not for him. God doesn't need us to pray. It's to better ourselves. So if you're doing it for the people, you might as well just not pray. Do you know what I mean?
So that's what I said. It's a very personal thing. Religion is a very personal thing, and I think there's a very fine line as well in terms of how you kind of go about it and everything. But at the same time, like, obviously if you're wearing a hijab, it's completely different. People know, okay, you're a Muslim, whether they're Muslims or not. They're like, okay, this girl's wearing a hijab, she's Muslim. But like I said, for maybe me and Anisa, it's like, okay, they're dressing modestly, they're doing this, they're doing that, but we'll always get criticized on things regardless. But at the end of the day, it does come down to attention, which is what Islam is about. So I think it does kind of...
But this is also a topic as well. I feel like with wearing the hijab, and I'm not in any way taking you guys down from any criticism you guys gotten, but I feel like when I put the hijab on and when I start putting it up on social media, because my account was private a few years ago and I've only recently made it public, I felt like I got so much more negativity because I wore the hijab, and people pinpoint me, like they would say things like, you've got false nails on, how are you praying, you've got false lashes on, why are you wearing hijab?
I do see that a lot.
But whereas there are people, like I have a relative who actually doesn't wear the hijab and she puts herself on social media and she gets none of that. So she wears full face of makeup and she's got her nails on, she's, you know, got her ankles out, and she's very evidently Muslim because of the post she would make, but she does not get half as much as hate as I do.
It's because it's more evident on you because you're wearing
but
it.
then that sparks up the conversation of why do they feel comfortable telling me as opposed to somebody who's not wearing a hijab? Because for me, I just feel like we are all the same. I am never going to turn around to you and be like, so yesterday did you read Tariq because I did? Did you read the 12 rakas because I did? Do you know what I mean? I don't need to know that. So it becomes a conversation now. What about that? Yes, I'm wearing hijab, but why do you feel so validated? Why do you feel so like you don't have any credentials to give me? Do you know what I mean? Like, who are you, kind of thing? And I've noticed I get that a lot. And so when people are like, I get people who say a lot of negative things to me, and I'm like, if you saw my DMs, like literally if you saw my DMs, it's just flooded with Muslim dawah men on Instagram who are like, I just saw that you're wearing red lipstick, I think you shouldn't wear that because red is the colour of blood and blood is haram. Like, it'll just go into something that doesn't make absolutely
comes back
no sense.
To the whole nappy comment that I got.
Exactly, and it makes no sense.
It's interesting you say that, actually, but I want to ask what do you guys feel that putting the hijab on puts you under a spotlight for negativity and for judgment and stuff like that? Or do you guys think that if you don't wear a hijab, like, who do you, in your opinion, who do you think struggles more? Who's under the spotlight more? Someone like yourselves who isn't wearing the hijab yet, or if you put the hijab on, do you think that puts the spotlight on you more?
I think for sure someone that's wearing the hijab.
Yeah, I feel
it's
it
a lot
so
harder
much
for
more.
them.
Yeah,
and I honestly admire people that wear the hijab.
and I'm not in any way taking anything away from you guys, because I could imagine that you guys get it because you guys are on both platforms.
Yeah,
I'm only on one, and I just get DMs about me breathing wrong, you know, and you guys must just get it every single day.
See, that's what I'm struggling with, because I want to wear the hijab, but then I kind of step back a bit because of the criticism, and I'm like, you know what I mean?
It's off-putting,
It's just something I need to keep reminding myself I would need to do it for God, but obviously I'm kind of just little steps, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's your jihad, that's your struggle.
Yeah,
inshallah,
course,
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you the strength.
Inshallah,
to put it on one day. What do you think?
Yeah. I agree with them to a certain extent, but I think it's hard for both, depending. You know, like, I think it doesn't matter what you do, whether you wear hijab or not. I feel like the struggles are there regardless.
Yeah, 100%.
There was a recent event some of my blogger friends actually went to. They went to Turkey, and people were commenting really horrible things like, oh, it's funny how they've sponsored hijabi bloggers to fly out who are light skinned, and they haven't called anyone dark skinned, and you know, even that within itself became a problem. And yet I had people sending me messages saying, oh, how come you don't get invited to these modest events where you dress modestly? Is it because you don't wear a hijab? And that actually got me thinking that, you know, a lot of hijabis do get that sort of criticism. Oh, you're not doing this right. Exactly like she said. But it's also difficult for non-hijabis in that way, because they don't accept you either way. We're kind of I said earlier on, we're in the middle. It's like we don't get the opportunity that hijabi bloggers get because of modesty, yet we don't get the other, like how people when they're revealing themselves. So it's kind of like it's I think it's hard either way, and it just depends. Like, everyone has their own struggles, but I think that people do make an issue out of anything. And I mean, that whole topic about not inviting dark skin, I think it was just blown out of proportion, and I think that sometimes people need to calm down.
Was it recently?
Very recently. It was when they went to Istanbul, I think.
Do you know what I find so sad about that? Somebody commented saying, I don't know on whose post it was, I think it was on Sabina's, and somebody posted a comment saying, you know, I think you should, when you get the list of people who go to these events, you should find out who else is going. And I'm like, this is a job for them. This is a job. So when you go into Debenhams and you do an interview, do I then ask the interviewer, oh, actually, can I just find out who else is on the shop floor? Do you have 4 black people, 4 white people? Do you have 4 dogs? Like, what's going on? Because in my mind, I think they have no question and no reason to ask about somebody else, because their contract is very different from somebody else's, you know? And it's unfair to then be asking personal questions and turn around and be like, oh, so these events, so you've got 10 people coming out, how many of us are coloured, how many of us are light skinned, how many of us are this? That's none of your business. So when I read into that, I was like, that's...
I was quite shocked.
I was quite shocked. But yeah, I do understand, like, the people who are obviously setting up the events, they should also involve people of colour, because there are coloured Muslims, you know. And I think in Britain especially, the perception of Muslims is very much Asian. People just think Asians are Muslims and that's it. Like, even if you watch documentaries and stuff like that on BBC, it's always, oh yeah, Pakistani people are Muslims, Bengali people are Muslim. No, there's Jamaican Muslims, there's African Muslims, there's white Muslims, there's reverts, everything. So organisations, people don't, and organisations need to realise that and involve everybody.
I think that it's interesting you say that as well, because obviously Anisa and Isa, you use your social media pages as influencers, whereas it's different for you because your social media is
more business
based. I don't take
so
anything.
That's why, so it's very different because, like you said, it's why are you on social media in the first place, and that's why, because your one's a business page, you don't feel the need to post a prayer mat, but then because you are a practicing Muslim, you've got the hijab on and you post yourself, that's how people see that, okay, yeah, she's a practicing Muslim. Whereas you guys feel like I feel like maybe you guys are a bit more comfortable, or maybe you even feel the responsibility to post Islamic things or cultural things, so that your younger followers who can relate feel comfortable to carry on, like going out in public wearing Asian clothes. Or
I think it comes down to what we're doing. Like, obviously, if it's for business purposes, it's completely different. If we're doing it as influencers, we have to kind of post content that people relate to.
It's personal, a little bit more personal.
So I think that's where the difference is.
Yeah, so when I used to vlog especially for Ramadan last year, I would show people, I wouldn't show people, I would tell people about, say, when the last 10 days Laylatul Qadr would come, I'd tell them about it, but I wouldn't like shove it down their throats and, you know, tell them to do this, make sure that you're doing this, make sure you're doing that, because that's their choice. But yeah.
I think it's very different, and I think I think it's very different from a blogger as well, because I guess blogging and vlogging is very personal.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas
it's a day-to-day thing.
It's a day-to-day thing, whereas mine isn't a day-to-day. Like, if you look on my on my Instagram, I don't post pictures of family. I don't post pictures of my mum, my dad, my sisters, nothing. It's only like if I've gone to an event and I've met a few people that are bloggers, etc., I'll post them. Or if I've been to an event where I've been dressed by so-and-so and I've been paid to promote them, I'll promote them. But that is literally it. It does not get, and I don't even have a private account because I'm like, I don't really need it. What am I going to post on my private account? Like,
I think moral of the story is that I think everyone needs to just start accepting people for their work that they do. Whether it's on a personal level or on a business level, you need to, if you want to work with someone, work with them on who they are and what they represent, not on their skin color, their religion, or anything like that. And I think everything will kind of just flow a lot more easier. But
I think it's also, I think there's an element of identity versus lifestyle, because I mean, wearing the hijab, I feel like it's part of our identity. Like you said before earlier on, you can't imagine taking it off because that is you. So although your social media page is there as a business page, you are posting hijab, and that is related to Islam, but that's because it's part of your identity. You don't post lifestyle stuff, whereas you guys can post lifestyle stuff. And lifestyle stuff in terms of like a prayer mat or Laylatul Qadr night and stuff like that.
That's so personal. I wasn't going to say anything, but I was going to say, I was actually going to ask you two, do you guys get, so when you do post a prayer mat, do you guys get the odd questions of, I didn't even know you were a Muslim?
No.
Do you get that?
No.
Okay.
No. It's evident.
I think it's quite evident.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's quite, I'm quite curious by that, because I thought, because for me, because I wear the hijab, it's quite evident that I am a Muslim. But then when I wear turban, people don't know. People don't know.
I think it's because people are, like I said, when people wear hijab, it's like, oh, you're a Muslim, but people wear turbans for fashion purposes. And then it doesn't seem like a problem. But when
it's because of Islam,
when it's like this, people are like,
it's different.
But how do you guys feel about the turban as well, actually? Because no, go on, I'll let you go first.
I was actually going to say, I have debates like this all the time. I feel like with turban, right, I think with hijab in general, you need to realize why you're doing it. Because if you have a turban on that is literally the size of a cloth and your neck is showing, right, but that's the only thing you could afford, because back in the days, women didn't even have hijabs, right? The same cloth they prayed in was the same cloth they used as an apron, was the same cloth they made into a bed. So hijab sometimes wasn't even a thing in our religion. It was, yes, it was a fard, then you have to do it, but sometimes women couldn't afford to do it. So when it comes to hijab now, right, it's literally, for me, I just think of do it the way you want to do it, and do it knowing you're doing it for God. If I'm wearing an abaya today and I'm wearing a hijab today and I'm fully covered and I'm doing it because my cousin over here thinks that I need to do it like that, or otherwise I'm a fake hijabi, etc., etc., then my intention is not for God. So what's the point of me doing it? Because on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah, God's going to ask me and be like, so on this day you wore hijab, why? And I'm going to turn around and be like, oh, it was because I felt threatened, and it was because I felt like I had to wear it here, and this is the reason. He's going to be like, that doesn't mean anything to me. So, but if I wore it like a turban, and I actually physically, I knew I was wearing it for God, there was nothing that was going to stop me, and Allah would have seen that and been like, your intention here is so pure. It's all about intention. It's all about intention. Yeah. It's same with you guys. You guys don't wear hijab, but like you said, like I think it was you said that Anisa said earlier, that your iman could be higher than mine, and I'm wearing a hijab and I'm observing hijab, you know, and only God knows that.
You never really know what's in someone's heart, I guess.
Exactly, you really don't. So, and I have had the snarky comments of, what's the point of wearing a hijab if you're not going to wear it correctly, and you're a fake hijabi and da-da-da. I've had all of that come my way before.
Again, I bet there's people who don't wear hijab themselves.
But do you know what is so funny? I was just about to say, it is actually somebody who doesn't even observe hijab themselves. Yeah. And for me, that's such a mind block, because I'm just like, who are you to point fingers at me when you have it? No, but the thing is, I actually know it is, and I'm like, because I see their page, and I'm like, you're commenting on my stuff. Do you even know what hijab is?
Back to people like that?
The thing is, I actually didn't respond back. I made a post about it, and I think that just created a war on Instagram. And I was like, this is why I don't at people, because I'm like, it's not just one person, it's a few people. So I'm like, I'm not going to at you. You could just do you and see it. Yeah, and I'm like, you know who if the shoe fits, if you get offended by it, then you know the shoe fits, right? Yeah. You know it's aimed at you, but otherwise I don't at people.
So you do feel comfortable like calling those people out?
Yeah, because I think it's not right. It's like if somebody turned around to Anisa or and turn around and said something about them blogging or posting pictures of their child, I would turn around and stick up for them and be like, that's their life though. You can't say to her that she can't post her daughter, or she can, because that's not your choice.
I've had people saying, oh, why don't you post her face? Like,
it's your choice.
I mean, I don't post it for her protection because she's so small yet, and that's my personal choice. Me and my husband made that joint decision. Yeah. And I had one person message me saying, "Oh, is your daughter ugly? Is that why you don't post her? Oh, you don't post your daughter."
It's
blah blah blah.
Like that you don't post
her.
And
I said that, and then she turned around and said, "Oh, I hope your daughter dies." And I was like, "Wow!" Like literally at that point, I was just like, "Do you know what?" I said, "It's because of people like you. I don't post my daughter's face." And you just get shocked by the stuff people come out with. But even then, just each their own. I just blocked her. And I was like, okay, cool.
And that's it.
Yeah, no hard words, no hard feelings. You know, you must be quite in a bad place. And then I had another blogger actually reach out to me and she said this exact same thing to her. So I was like, okay, maybe this is another sister who's going through a hard time. You know, you just got to be a bit more understanding. But that was, for me, odd. I was like, how can you just wish that on anyone? But
so our show's coming to an end. I'm just going to ask one last question. I have one last question for you guys. Because you are on social media and because you are influencers, how do you feel about the younger generation watching you, especially young girls maybe? Do you think, I mean, because there's a lot of fitna on social media and stuff like that, how do you feel about that? Do you think it's important that you go up there and you post your lifestyle and you show everyone your side and your perspective and your lifestyle? Or do you think it's better, again, like I said before, if social media was less prominent or less of a thing in our lives?
I always let people know that I'm not perfect. And that's the first thing you need to let them know. Is because younger people, they are quite naive. And they're going to think whatever you do is correct. And that's not the correct way to... it's not right for you to allow them to believe that. So I always time to time make a comment, or not a comment, but like I always post on my story saying, guys, I'm really not perfect. Like a few people do message me sometime and they're like, oh, I want to wear hijab and I don't really know how to go about it. And I literally said back to her, do not copy the way I wear hijab, because I am only representing me, and I'm trying to represent brown people, short people, all of this, but also try and look at it from an Islamic perspective. Don't come to people, go to Islam, because that is the most perfect way you're going to find it. Go into the books, see how the Prophet said it, see how the way Khadija wore it and the way Aisha wore it. Do you know what I mean? Go to those people. Don't look for people to be influential to you in terms of Islam, because we are not perfect. Those people are perfect. Look to them.
Yeah.
That's what I always say.
I think, as you said earlier, I think social media has its advantages and disadvantages. There'll be, I mean, it really depends on who you follow. If you follow the right people, you'll get influenced the right way as well. But obviously there are certain people that, I mean, people that kind of give a perception of they're perfect. Again, as you said earlier as well, I mean, that, you know, like the Kardashians, Kylie Jenner, people would follow them thinking that they need to look like that. But yeah, I think it really just depends. There's advantages and disadvantages.
I'm constantly posting reminders as well, whether it's through Insta stories or whether it's through my caption. When I did have my daughter as well, I did take a break from social media, and I made that very clear to all my followers that you know, the main thing for me is I'm going to give my time to my daughter. Yes, I appreciate my supporters, I love them, and you know, I am where I am today because of them, but she's very small and she needs me right now. So if you guys wish to unfollow or whatever, that's fine, but I'm going to be away for a little while because I need that time for her and she needs my full attention. I mean, I don't know how mums do it, like constantly blogging, but you know, I wish I could do that, but I've found it a bit of a struggle. So for me, it was like kind of just focusing on her, but slowly I'm trying to get back into it. But I do kind of let people know that, you know, life is hard and it will get tough. You'll have commitments, whether it's family, whether it's work, anything. But, you know, what we post on social media is a very small percentage of our life. It's not, I mean, we could be posting in our bedroom, with a backdrop and saying, oh, I'm in, I don't know, on holiday, I'm Maldives or something. Not really, you know, it just depends. Like, you could be in the worst case scenario around you. You could be surrounded by horrible people in a horrible atmosphere, but you're showing social media that, oh, I'm having the time of my life. You might not be. So
I don't know if you guys are aware of FouseyTube.
He was bipolar, I think.
So
he having depression.
He had like, this actually really touched my soul. I was like, oh my goodness, like I couldn't believe it. But it goes back to, you really, like, everything on social media can literally be faked and it could be conned. Not saying that he is a con or anything, but he spoke about, you know, how he was going through depression and stuff like that, and how he had an addiction. He never spoke about what his addiction was, but he said he was addicted to something, and he said, guys, I would vlog for you all day, and then at nighttime I would go and do my addiction, but little did you guys know I was going through this. And it's only recently he's come out and he said, guys, I had to go and do my addiction again, and it literally brought tears to my eyes, because I was like, every time I see him in such a happy light that I would least expect him to go through that. And that's just literally like what you said. Everything on social media is so limited. A picture you post, it took 1 second to take the picture and it took 1 second to post it. That is literally 2 seconds of our lives was dedicated to that post. It is not our day-to-day life.
I mean, it's like I could post something with my husband. I could be like having a good time with him. 5 minutes later, I might be having an argument. I'm not going to pull out my phone and be like, you know, you really irritated me, blah blah, because that's not what people do on social media. It's just
they put all their ups on, but they don't put their downs.
So our show has come to an end. I think just to end our show, I'd like to say, I think being British and being Muslim, I think it's always important, even with culture versus religion, I think it's always important that we follow Islam. Ultimately lead with Islam, like you ladies are doing as well. In terms of social media, I think it's important. I mean, we can't keep asking how good social media is, how good or bad it is, that it's so prominent, but it is now. And I think it's important that we have girls like yourselves showing, you know, all your own personal different sides to it, so that the younger generation can look up to you guys and see and maybe gain confidence and empowerment from you guys, you know.
Thank you so much.
That's all right, but I think it's very important that we follow Islam first and foremost, even before culture, before anything.
Definitely before
like
culture.
But thank you for coming in today.
Thank
it was
you
so
for
lovely
having
having
us.
you guys.
Thank you so much.
I do know what, I have to apologize to our listeners because I'm a bit ill and I've got a really sore throat.
You can't tell.
And I feel like we're all just tired because it is at the end, we're all very sleep deprived. But I hope you guys still enjoyed listening to us today. Please don't forget to donate again.
for Ramadan FM 2018. This is going to be our last show, so it's a bit bittersweet, but we're going to be going live on FM right after Ramadan, so that's very, very exciting.
Is this going to happen again next Ramadan?
Inshallah.
If it does, we should definitely next year find out if that guy found parking. We should find out today and write a note down.
That's funny. No, do you know what? I hope he did find parking and managed to find his way. Thank you so much for listening to us. That was our last episode of Cafe Nisa on Ramadan FM 2018. If you'd like to watch back the show, we'll be on Facebook Live and YouTube Live as well, I think.
Thanks
but
to everyone who called as well.
I
said thanks to everyone who called in as well.
Yes, thank you to all of you guys who called in. You were very, very sweet. It was lovely speaking to you guys. Enjoy the rest of Ramadan. A very early Eid Mubarak to you guys.
Eid Mubarak. Eid Mubarak, everyone.
And please remember us in your prayers. Please remember my late father in your prayers, Qari Ali Asghar Naqshbandi Sahib. And inshallah, catch you guys very soon. Stay tuned in to Ramadan FM 2018. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Hull Street, Walthamstow, E17.